on top of the world, about to jump above it. Take it straight to the moon, 'cause we know how to rock it. Ain't no thing you can do, ain't no way to stop it. Now you're feeling it too, let's get it started. Throw your hands in the air while the beat is dropping. Acting like you don't care when everybody's watching. Just keep whipping your hair like that, you got it. Yeah, you're feeling it too, let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Charge off the meter, turn it up, blow the speakers, make them all to believers. Break through the surface, tell them open the curtains, give them all what they wanted, yeah. Now let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. Yeah, I'm ready, ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, ready? I'm ready. Let's get it started. Yeah, yeah, I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Let's go. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me something new. Time to break loose. Take it to another level. Now we on the move. Shout if you coming with me. Going over the limit. On your mark, keep it steady. So tell me, are you ready? I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to one and all, and we have got an exciting one for you tonight. We welcome you to the World Center of Racing, even for iRacing. It is the Daytona International Speedway. iRail presents the Holiday Classic Buttkicker 300 on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. I'm Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is my good friend from the Northwest Racing, Samuel Dyer, as well, and Sammy D. We got a good race here tonight, buddy. Man, what a great car count. The numbers continue to pile in. Daytona, very special format, too. Not just qualifying and drop the green and race. We're going to go qualifying. We're going to lock in the top 10. We got heat races. We got consies, just like a regular dirt track Saturday night.
Yeah, as we can see here on our bottom left, we've, like you note, on qualifying, top 10 get to move on. Then we've got 2 heat races to figure out 15 drivers from both heat races on who's going to move on from there. And then the final B main, where the winner of that B main gets to move on to our 43 driver field that will race for 100 laps. Tons of prizes on the line. But like you noted on Wesley, the driver count continues to grow. At one moment, we're like, wow, got 45 drivers. Now we have 47. 51 drivers so far have logged in and are prepared and getting ready for qualifying here in just 3.5 minutes.
And obviously the thing is, as practice rolls along here, you want to make the top 15, or let's be honest, or the top 10, my apologies. You want to be the top 10 fast qualifiers, because if you can do that, you set yourself comfortably in one of the first 5 rows at the drop of the green flag. And then, Samuel, you don't have to worry about the headache or the hooligan races that are those heats or B mains.
Yeah, qualifying is so important. If you can just lock yourself in early, you don't have to worry about those heat races where we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers racing very aggressive. These heat races and also the B main only going to be a 10-lap shootout for each of those races. And you got to make sure you're on top of your game just to get into our featured race. And for these drivers, they love the trucks. They are racing in the trucks here tonight, which means that they are going to be able to make a lot of hero moves. It's all about finding just one other driver or even just 2 drivers with you, and you can move very quickly through this field, or even by yourself if you can get a good run. So these drivers, they're going to be making a lot of hero moves. They're going to be bobbling and jostling all over the place. It's going to be fun racing all night long.
One of the things we're going to talk about is this event is almost up to $2,000 in purse money and prizes up for this race in the Buttkicker 300. But let's take a look at the weather conditions also. Bottom right of the monitor, thanks to LSRTV, pristine, great. Partly cloudy. We're under the lights. It's going to start under the lights, so that doesn't change the, if you will, the changes on the vehicles as the race progresses with handling and setup. 71, the ambient temp, track temp 2. Nice, comfortable, no winds. Great day of racing. We're going to see a lot of bump drafted, I believe, too, Sammy D.
A lot of bump drafting on these straightaways, especially on the back stretches where we're going to be seeing the primarily most of the bump drafting, and a lot of passes on the entry of the corner, and as well on the exit of these corners. These drivers are going to have a lot of plays and movement because it's under the lights. That cool weather allows these drivers to have a lot of grip on this track, so it's going to be a fun one here tonight, Wesley. I'm excited for all the big moves. We're going to get to see 2 wide racing for most of the night, but when we get 3 wide racing and sometimes 4 wide racing, that's when things get intense.
There is almost $2,000 up for grabs. You just heard me mention that. The official total is $1,844.93. This includes 3 butt kickers valued at $219. Just say $220 even. Round it off. That's close to $660 right there. The Octawrap.com wraps that are up for grabs is 3. They're valued at $39.99. Round it off to $40. That's close to $120 right there for the top 3. Elite Performance Industries is giving away wraps and prizes in all sorts of cool things. One person gets that. That's for $40. Peg PC Prospects is giving away a prize pack valued at $225 for 1. Then we move into the other special prizes. That includes the Buddy Project prize pack, random draw for somebody. That is valued at $500. The laptop and Lionel diecast of Alex Bowman, one of our buddies of the NASCAR Cup Series from Phoenix, Arizona. That one is valued at close to $500. Then the money up for grabs includes the winner getting $250 tonight. Second and third place, both getting $50 on the podium. The holiday scheme is $75 for first, $50 for second, $25 for third. You do the math, but you don't have to because I did it for you, Samuel. The grand total for tonight's race in the iReal Buttkicker 300, $1,844.93 for an iRace broadcast. Wow.
Yeah, the money is on the line, the prizes as well, and you'll love to see the community coming together for such an event here tonight, the Holiday Classic with the Buttkicker 300. Excited to see these drivers, and it's honestly great to see the fact that there are so many different companies wanting to hop on board to make these prizes available. We get to see some of the best drivers out here on track at Super Speedway Racing, and drivers that are putting on their best chances to race out here as qualifying underway. Wesley, this is a real clutch. This is going to be one of the clutchest moments for these drivers. They've got 10 minutes, put down the fastest lap, and they've got 3 laps to make sure that they are making sure they're in the top 10 here for qualifying. We're already seeing some drivers on the high line trying to build up that speed.
Jeremiah Burke, we're watching him now. Coming across the start-finish line. You want to put that best lap down, as we mentioned, as Burke will be the guy to keep an eye on. Jeremiah Burke, as qualifying ongoing. Great field of talent, close to 50-plus entries, as we mentioned. Watching them hit their way to the back straightaway. I mean, and here's the thing, Samuel. Qualifying on these on a big speedway, a lot different than Charlotte or Richmond short tracks. You got to get up to speed. That first lap is your dead lap, if you will. Then you get that truck up to power. But the thing you got to remember, you against the clock, and you're by yourself. You're not racing with anybody around you. It's a different world when everybody's there with the bump drafting and the downforce. It's you and the clock crossing the line. Berkey, 52.944 seconds. That is good enough for third, as Anderson unofficially now has gone to the top of the board. Mike Adamson has now gone to second, and Burke's going to get one more lap around in that holiday truck number 53.
Yeah, And we're now going to be moving over the 23, Jerry Nadeau in the 27. We're going to see how fast, Jerry's going to be here. Again, his warm-up time, his first lap, going to be on the high line, building up that speed. And really, all what these drivers are focusing on is make sure that your truck is as steady as possible, that you're not wiggling, wobbling back and forth, trying to stay as steady as possible. And for these drivers, usually for qualifying at these courses for league races or any other special events, they only get 2 laps. So that first lap's so important, but they've got 3 laps here tonight for qualifying. So if they mess up on this first lap, they've got another chance for themselves.
Jerry Nadeau, a former NASCAR Cup Series competitor. It is awesome to see Jerry Nadeau joining us in the Buttkicker 300. He had experience in Xfinity in the Cup Series. Of course, everybody remembers the almost near tragic of Richmond, but the amazing career of so many great drivers across the sport. It is awesome to have Jerry Nadeau be able to join us tonight, and I think it's awesome that we branch out to real race car drivers. And now, the man out of Danbury, Connecticut, Jerry Nadeau, running iRacing, Samuel. And we'll see what he does, 52.242 on his first lap.
Yeah, I've been hearing that Jerry Nadeau, one of the drivers that has actually been on iRacing for quite a long time. He has been kind of a veteran of iRacing, so getting a good feel and feeling confident in his abilities. But after the 2 laps that Jerry Nadeau put down, 22nd is going to be the best for himself as you hop on board with that of Dale Adamson. And Dale Adamson, going to be one of 2 Adamsons out here on track, going to be son of Michael Adamson, who currently in the 51, 8th on the board, as Dale's on the track trying to best his father.
Sam, we remember back in the swag and the American iRacing League days where, Mike Adamson was trying to get his son Dale involved and get an iRacing license. And now Dale Adamson's running with the big boys. He's competing with them. He's won races. And this could possibly be the biggest one of them all. By the way, special paint schemes on a lot of these trucks in observance of the Buttkicker iRacing 300 for this holiday race. And there is money up for grabs. Who's got the best wrap job on those trucks? Who's your pick? Who's your favorite? As right now, 52.797 for Dale Adamson on the racetrack. As Dale Adamson continues down the back straightaway, we'll see what kind of lap he turns.
And we're starting to see our ticker shuffling along. And it's going to be Andrew Navarro and Matthew Lee going to be topping the board. And you're going to be seeing a lot of drivers coming in as partners and other drivers coming in as groups. And right now, the 42 topping the board currently as we move over to the 5 of Matthew Baker.
And Dale Adamson again out of Sanford, Florida, the Limitless Esports entry. And now we move again, as Samuel said, to Daniel Baker, or Matthew Baker, from Magnolia, Texas, the NBG Motorsports Coasting Thunder entry, number 5. Crossing the line, 4 minutes left to go in this 10-minute qualifying session. By the way, Andrew Navarro has moved to the fast time, 52.2. Matthew Lee second, Anderson third. Now, Samuel, again, what's so important about this qualifying, as we see Baker, again, the Texan on the back straightaway, his number 5 Chevrolet, you want to be one of the top 10. If you can lock in the top 10, you know you're in the show.
Yeah, and there's a lot of heavy hitters that are not in the top 10 currently. I mean, we already know Jerry Nadeau currently has dropped down to 35th. Parker Retzlaff is going to be in 37th. So these are big-name drivers that we've covered here and have been known to have some speed. They're going to have to find their way through the heat races to move on as Baker coming across the line. We'll see where the 5 lies after finishing up the second lap.
52.231 seconds for Baker. And Matthew Baker not in the top 20, still down below, as here comes now Jeremy Crandall on the racetrack in the number 73 entry. Working his way now on the racetrack off of turn 4 through the tri-oval. He's out of Port Charlotte, Florida in the Work Pro Tool Over the Top Designs DGM Racing entry. Jeremy Crandall on course now And everyone's now trying to bump Andrew Navarro, the native out of Miami, Florida. And we'll see. Well, I don't think he's happy with his right. He'll park her. So.
Yeah, starting to look at
All
all the
right, still got
times
a
that are still
couple
out there. And I
Yeah, I
think
was gonna
that
say,
where our
Samuel.
top 10 are, they look good.
I was going to say, Samuel, you mentioned the guys right now that are, I think Rye Lewis and Derek Fulton have not taken time yet. We await those two if they're going to. But, look at this, Samuel. 52-10, 52-10 for Navarro and Lee for timing and scoring. Now, I don't know, 1/1000th of a second. So basically, it's a 52-102 and a 52-101 for Navarro and Lee. How close is that? Wow.
Yeah, that is less than a bumper away from one another on that time difference. And you look at even the other differences from first all the way down to 22nd. It is all within 1/100th of a second. It's crazy how close everyone is, but that's what super speedway racing is all about. It's all about those little adjustments that you make, trying to make sure that your truck stays straight, scrubs off time. It costs you, and we're starting to see, I think, Ryan Lewis and Derek Fulton might not be hitting the course here. There's not enough time. So our top 10, where they are, looks to be the top 10 that will be locking themselves into our featured race.
50-plus entries. Qualifying is done. Heat races when we return from the virtual World Center of Racing. This is the iReal Buttkicker 300. Merry Christmas to you from your home for sim racing. We'll be back in a moment.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Just about that time. Heat race number 1. It's gritting. We welcome you back to coverage from the virtual World Center of Racing. That's the iReal Buttkicker 300 Christmas Invitational. Almost $2,000 up for line. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland back with you. Thanks again to Rocket Media, LSRTV Productions, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten. We're ready to go. Heat number 1. Remember, close to 20-plus trucks in both heats. Taking the top 10. Michael Adamson, he's on the pole in the number 51 to the outside. TJ Robertson, truck number 11. Row number 2, we'll find Will Cloud in the 48 to the outside. Nicholas Lamb in 37. Row 3 on the grid, Justin Real in the number 39. Derek Stanley in the 52. Row, I like the Grinch truck, by the way. Bah humbug. Number 4. Row 4, Jason Rayjock in the number 71. Dell Adamson in truck number 46. Round out the top, Heat 1. Going to be a good one. Ted Wade in the Dukes. Jonathan Cofield, Sammy D in 53.
Then in row number 6, we find that of Jay Jensen as well as Matthew Baker. And dropping back to row number 7, we find that of Luke Baldwin as well as Jerry Nadeau in the 27. Row 8 finds Parker Retzlaff and also that of David Strider. And finding ourselves in our last 2 rows, going to be that of Chris Cinnamon, Tyler Evans in the 17 for row number 9. Row 10, we got that of Jeremy Crandell as well as Cody Ross. And our final row here, going to be finding that of Derek Fulton and Rye Lewis, but Derek Fulton going to be race control, so he will not be gridding up. So we'll see only 21 drivers starting here, Wesley, and 15 of these drivers racing here in this first heat get to move on to the featured race.
And you know what, Samuel? I got to say props to Derek Fulton from Stair, Ontario, Canada. There's been times before where he has literally officiated, put together these races, and ran in them to step back and say, you know what, guys, this is a big show. Almost $2,000 on the line in person prize money. I'm going to be the race director. I'm going to help control this show, make the flow be good. Big props instead of not just trying to go out and race himself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Derek Fulton has been on constant focus and go mode. He was actually working on some of these driver schemes to the wee hours and moments before the session was done. So big credit to Derek, and now he's going to be running race control, just watching over what he has built here tonight. Excited to see what tonight's racing is going to bring us.
We're glad you're along for it. The pace car, the high banks in turn number 3 and 4. Our camera producer, Charles, will give us a nice opportunity when they go to speed to show you that gyro cam, just to show you how banked it is for these 20-plus trucks ready to go. Heat race number 1. Pace car drops onto the pit lane. It makes that left-hand turn. Here comes the field through the Geico zone in the starter's box. First start, green in the air. And there was I was telling you about the gyro. Now watch them as they flatten out. Green is out. Heat number 1. Will Cloud, you're on board with him, behind Adamson. And now they're about to get sideways, up the banking into turn 1 and 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a heat race. We're underway in Daytona, and Adamson out in front.
Yeah, and this is the big thing. You want to be this lead driver, Michael Adamson. The only thing for this 51 that he's got to worry about is the driver behind him. Make sure he does not get bumped or moved around. And so far, looking good for that of Adamson. But the outside lane, this is what we love from the Truck Series, Wesley, is that both lanes are viable. And with the current, that of the Cup Series aero package, it's really a lot of single-file racing. But on iRacing, the Truck Series, we get this amazing action as they come out of turn 4.
Through the tri-oval. 2x2, almost 5 rows deep. 15 trucks in a pack. And Adamson and the Grinch will lead lap number 1. Yes! Into turn 1. Beautiful looking machine. Cloud and Roberts. Remember, there's money up for grabs in the best appearing holiday wrap for the truck. And in my opinion, it's the Grinch. Mike Adamson powers his way to the number 1 spot. Look at how fast they are at speed. Here comes now Roberts, though. He'll power on the outside, Samuel. They're door to door like at pace lap speed going to 3.
Yeah, and this is great for the drivers that are up in the top 8 to top 10. They know that they're in a good spot. As long as no one makes any mistakes or any abrasive moves, you are set to move on. The top 15 drivers get to move on to the featured race, but everyone else that's around that of 12th to 13th on back, they're trapped in a pretty precarious spot because we're running out of lap times, 8 laps to go, and they're going to clock away very quickly, and you need to make some big moves early on, and we'll see who wants to go 3 wide. We're already starting to see some drivers testing the limits, and there's not a lot of room to go 3 wide. You got to be practically perfect coming out of their turn number 2.
Look at Nadeau down below the bottom of the apron. He's trying to fight for 15th. I believe the top 15 will lock into the show. He's on that bridesmaid spot now on the bubble. He's in that final position. 15 lock in. You're going to take 15 from these 2 10-lap heat races. 3 from the B main later tonight. That'll lock in your 43 truck field. And who's coming to the front? Adamson on the bottom. He's got Cloud behind him. Roberts up on the outside with Lamb. Real, Stanley, Retzlaff. Here comes the other Adamson member of the family. Mike Adamson and Dell Adamson now. And Samuel, they're 1 and 8. The man on the bubble now is Ross in 39 as they work off 2.
Yeah, and the real thing here is because everyone's able to start moving along, you're kind of trapped in your lane, hoping that's the lane that starts moving. But we're starting to see that middle of the pack starting to jostle back and forth. When you find an opening, you can't hesitate. If you're going to make a move and you're told that you're clear, you got to move immediately. If there's any hesitation, we could see a big one striking here in heat number 1. A lot of these drivers do not want to be caught up in a wreck. Again, top 15, get to move on to that featured race, means you've got to be perfect. And for the drivers that are further back, they might have to make some aggressive moves if they want to move on to the featured race.
I've said for Samuel, it's not a matter of if. That's a certainty. It's when. And that's the question now, as they're starting to get a little antsy, working their way, with now coming to halfway, next time by, heat number 1. We're live, LSRTV from Daytona, the iRail Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300. In heat number 1, taking 15. Baldwin now the man on the bubble spot. 2x2, working their way off of the corner like they're the reindeer pack. The only one missing is Rudolph as they come off the corner. A sleigh of speed coming through the tri-oval. Now they'll pick it out 3 wide behind the top 8. Samuel, we're 5 to go. Now it's going to get wild. Who's going to the top 15?
Yeah, and the driver that's making that third lane work by himself, Parker Retzlaff, a driver that is currently trying to get into the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series and doing a fantastic job Thursday nights. Well, here tonight, by himself, just a little bit of help with the primarily side drafting, has moved up that 4th lane side by side. This is what these truck series allow you to do. Just a little bit of side drafting, they're wrecking behind.
Trouble, they're wrecking behind them. And that's the number 20 machine of Lewis's machine. Oh no. And now we're understanding the front of the pack is crashed. Samuel, I called it. I called it, brother. I said, man, you're moving into the halfway, and people are going to start getting impatient. And it started right here when they're going 3 wide. Watch that Lewis truck of the 20. The 02 machine, correction. Oh no.
Yeah, this is going to be the small incident, Wesley. This Jensen spot, he just a little bit jostled.
I just got turned in the wall.
Yeah. Thought he was going to have
space. And now we're understanding there was a wreck in the front. This was in the front.
Flipping.
One's upside down. And Nadeau's involved. Jerry Nadeau, the 27 truck. A couple of other entries involved. The 73 crashed as well. And that was Jeremy Crandall, Will Cloud, Jerry Nadeau, Jonathan Cofield. And by the way, I believe I said it was the number 20. It was actually the 02 that was involved in the accident. My. And that's Jay Jensen, by the way, that got turned. Here's a look on the front pack and the big wreck there, Samuel. Watch this. Oh, no. Oh, man, that's Mike Adamson. The leader wrecked. And then the 46 wrecked. Is that his son?
Yeah, that's
yes,
his
it
son,
is.
Dale.
Holy
also.
hell. Ironically, Mike and Dale Adamson wrecked one another. Oh, wow. And by the way, Mike had a strong run. Nobody's pitting. Are you kidding me? Ain't nobody coming to pit road. It's about track position right now, Samuel.
Well, the drivers that have to are the ones that are heavily damaged. A couple of drivers have come into pit road when pit road was closed and were deemed with a black flag. There's a lot of disputing going on between race control and the drivers because of that call. So drivers are now being told, hey, you have a black flag because you pitted too soon. Should have waited when pit road was open. And that will not be a clear on their black flag. But most of the second half of the field right now in pit road getting service done. From 9th on back, Wesley, all heavily damaged in some fashion. So that means some of the drivers are going to be making it through to our featured race. Again, top 15 move on, are going to be damaged trucks.
And mind you, Samuel, it makes sense. It's just like real NASCAR races where there might be an accident. You cannot come onto the pit lane until they cut the red lights off and put the green lights on, and the man's waving the green flag to show the entrance of pit lane open, because there's a lot of logistics going on when that time period happens, even in real racing, just like here tonight. We're checking timing and scoring. We're making sure the order is corrected. We're trying to pinpoint who was involved in the accidents, who might be getting a penalty, if anything was done intentional. And then once all that is processed, then they open up the pit lane. For those people that pitted early, you're going to suffer a penalty for that because you pitted when pit road wasn't open for you to do so.
Yeah, and that's why drivers are a little upset on what happened, because they thought they were going to get those black flags cleared. On iRacing, you can clear drivers' black flags if there was a little bit of a mistake that happened, and the admins decide, we will clear it because there was a mistake. Also, want to give note, I thought that there wasn't going to be a fast repair for these drivers during the heat race. I was wrong. There is a fast repair, so all the drivers that were heavily damaged, they're back out on track with fully repaired trucks. And Wesley, we're going into our first attempt out of 3 into a green-white checkered overtime.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Caution laps count. Caution laps count. And if there is overtime, we go through 3 attempts of a green-white checker. My question is, Samuel, are we going to see 3 cautions in the heat races 1? That's the thing. Obviously, you rack them and restack them. You're literally setting yourself up for these type of ingredients of disaster.
Yeah, this is going to be, I don't know if we're going to get through this first attempt or we're going to need all 3. I think it's either we get done in this first go or people are just going to wreck each other to try to get into that final position. But again, if we get that white flag, gloves are off. You can wreck someone to get into that featured race, and it is fair game when the white flag is out. So we'll see who's going to wreck somebody to get into the featured race. As we've already heard a couple of drivers say, hey, we might wreck someone just to win the butt kicker and win the grand prize.
The field will make their way back to the Geico restart zone, and we'll get ready for the restart. And now the Batman truck, number 11, is the leader. That's going to put TJ Roberts up in front. Green, white, checker. Green, white, checker. Attempt number 1. We're taking the top 15 to the iReal Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300. Pace car onto the pit lane. They're 2x2x2. Back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag goes back in the air. Inside lane will work for Roberts. Stanley is there. Parker Retzlaff, who's going to be running a lot of NASCAR Xfinity races in 2022, sends a punt to the outside for third. He's on the bottom in 1.
Yeah, Parker Retzlaff has been on the go mode. Didn't have the best qualifying time, put him in this first heat, and so he's been working, moving forward, made that third lane work, but now he's in a prime spot, doesn't need to force the issue. Yeah, I guess he would love to get a win for heat number 1, have that momentum, but again, the top 15 move on to the featured race, so you don't want to do anything too aggressive if you're up front in the top 10.
Trouble,
Oh,
trouble,
no.
trouble. 17 Evans turned around. We got a caution. And they're going to go to overtime, too. Wow. And Nadu's upside down again.
And Nadu's engine is gone, and I believe Nadu had already used a fast repair. And multiple drivers who had already used their fast repairs, losing their engine.
Replay, and we might be having to see the Buddy Project 27 of Danbury, Connecticut's Jerry Nadu in a B-main. Watch this. Oh, my. Evans, and honestly, Samuel, it's part of the product of overtime races, but I told you that. This is overtime green-white checker attempt 2 coming up.
Yeah, and it was a very aggressive pushing that was going on through the corner. And, through the corner and the tri-oval, they're known for when these trucks are at their lightest point. And one even if you're squared with someone, you give them a bump, you can get that driver very loose, and you can either launch that truck to the outside or to the inside. And Ted Wade trying his best to, give a bump, help out that of Tyler Evans, and instead backfires, hurts the 17, and now the 2 going to be given an EOL penalty. So we'll be starting at the end of the line on this second attempt at overtime on heat number 1.
And remember, 2 attempts left. Green-white checker. If there's a third attempt made, and they do go to the third one, if there's a caution before the white flag, race is official. Based on time and in scoring, they'll go back to the recent scoring loop around the racetrack here at Daytona. And Derek Fulton and the iReal officials will make the determination of what the positions were for each driver. Here's a shot of one of the cameramen up on the top of the lift over there in turn 1, Daytona. All right. So, you have now some new drivers up at the front, including TJ Roberts, Parker Retzlaff, and Samuel. How about Parker Retzlaff, buddy? It was, we know the guy out of Rhinelander, Wisconsin. We know him from the obviously IRL events we used to cover, the American iRacing League broadcasts, some other things, big races we've done. And Parker Retzlaff, also a real competitor. He raced in the ARCA Menards East Series. I know him from also running a couple of truck races, and he's going to go into the racing next year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Really excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, getting prepared for real life NASCAR racing. Also is in the Contender Series currently for the NASCAR Coca-Cola Series. So trying to make sure he makes it to, he's racing to try to get into the professional side. He's getting into those Xfinity real life pro events, and also trying to make sure he's on top of his game on the esports side of things, trying to get into that Coca-Cola NASCAR Coca-Cola Series.
So it's not all official yet, but it was announced probably about 9 days ago that Parker Retzlaff will be running with the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2022, beginning in March with RSS Racing at Phoenix Raceway. And then more details will come from there on that. Obviously, he's very excited about that. You need an opportunity. And, honestly, the young hot shoes of the sport, and Samuel, I've said this, sometimes all you need in life, in general, is just one shot, one opportunity. And I know I sound like I'm using the lyrics from Lose Yourself by Eminem and 8 Mile, but it's the truth. You just need one shot, one opportunity to go after something. And if you can really put yourself out there, because, you're released to the wolves, and if you can do well and prosper from it, then it could be a great thing to come for you. So I'm happy for Parker Retzlaff and this opportunity for him.
It's extremely exciting, but Wesley, updates for drivers in this heat. We're going to our second attempt at overtime. We have multiple drivers still in pit road. Jeremy Credels, who was in the 73 machine, still in pit road getting repairs done. Same for Will Cloud, David Strider, Jerry Nadu. All 4 of those drivers in pit road. With that of Jonathan Cofield's going to be left 1 lap down. So leaving us with 16 drivers that are on the lead lap currently, and again, only the top 15 get to move on to that featured race.
All right, it's one person for themselves. Everyone else, 15 trucks, stay in a line, stay the hell out of trouble, and go to the A-Main. And the reason why I say A-Main is it feels like it's a dirt track atmosphere. You're used to heat races and consies and features to A-Mains in the dirt racing world. We don't hear this terminology used a lot in the world of pavement, but that's the way it's going down. Heat race number 1, moving now on lap number 12, 13. And attempt number 2 is forthcoming. Green-white checker taking the top 15. Your pace car gets the heck out of Dodge onto the pit lane. They're back to the Geico restart zone through the travel. Green flag in the air from that camera view. Retzlaff out in front. Robertson, Baker, Stanley. Cinnamon, by the way, that's a good spice. Everything nice. He's in P15 as they go to turn 1.
Yeah, right now looking good for the drivers up front. You can already see patience being shown. A lot of drivers not wanting to put themselves in any type of situation that could hurt them. And right now, where the drivers lie, all the drivers that are in this lead pack would make it to the featured race. But are they thinking big picture, Wesley? Are they thinking about just winning this heat? We have to make it to the white flag to turn this race to an official finish and to the Heat 1.
They come to the white flag. Race is official. They're through the travel now. Right now to the line. And the white flag, CRN 1 to go in heat race number 1. All details at wearecrn.com. Getting ready for the Christmas break. We've got high school and college basketball before 2022 arrives. Off of turn 4. Roberts on the bottom. Retzlaff outside. Back straight away. They're still 2x2. 5 rows deep for the final time in heat 1.
And I know these guys know that they are all going to be moving on to the next round, but you could see the aggression. The 5, Matthew Baker, just willing to push and shove. TJ Roberts, and they've got to be careful not to do too much bumping through 3 and 4. Just survive, make it to the finish line, and you're making it to the featured race.
Off of turn 4, little wiggle and a jiggle and a giggle and a bobble for the pack. They hold it together. Retzlaff with them coming at him like a hungry pack of wolves. He'll survive heat number 1. That'll put him in P11 to drop the green flag in the iReal Holiday Classic Buttkicker 200 later on this evening. So he'll win heat race number 1. Here's the unofficial results presented by Live Sim Racing. Parker Retzlaff, 34 thousandths of a second over Robert. Stanley third. Baker, Rajok, Baldwin, Jensen, Adamson, Reel, and Adamson. They got back in the top 10, even though, Samuel, they were involved in an accident. And now, halfway through the field, that's where it gets real.
Yeah, and then we got that of Tyler Evans, also that of Lamb, Ross, Wade, and it's going to be Chris Cinnamon in the 3. Going to be the last driver that finishes in our top 15, automatically moving on to our featured race. And for the rest of the drivers on this list, Ryan Lewis, Jonathan Cofield, Jerry Nadeau, David Strider, Will Cloud, and also that of Cardell. It's going to be those drivers that are going to be placed into our B main, our last chance qualifier, where they're going to have 10 laps to make sure that they can move on to the featured race.
They are gridding for heat race number 2. We're going to flip-flop it now, Samuel. You give the first 5 rows, and then I'll take them to the finish of heat number 2. Here for coverage of the iReal Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300 from Daytona for those that are watching on iRacing and LSRTV.
It's time for your heat number 2, Team 126 Racing starting lineup. With that of Brian, Eddie's going to be in the 30 machine. With that of Dennis Mickelson, who's going to be in the 41. Row number 2, we find that of Dustin Lamb, as well as Ellis Garrett in the 13. Then we find ourselves in row 3 with David Sheets, as well as Patrick McConnell, who in the 40, with that of Jeremiah Burke, as well as Jose Mida, who's going to be in the 24. Then in row number 5, we find that of Chase Pierce, as well as Jeffrey Ford in the 96. Over to you, Wesley.
Row number 6, we'll find Paul Meza, the 93 to the outside. Josh Bonwell in 56. Row 7 on the grid, we're going to look at Josh Hill in the number 8. Matt Moreau in number 26, row 7. Row 8, we'll find Tyler Clemas in the 54. Eric Zimmerman, good to hear from him again in the 94. Row number 9, 18 spots. Torrey Thompson in the 88. Brett Vinson in the 32. And the start, row number 10. Eddie Donahue in the 23, Mark Miller in the 06. There you go.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited for this one. It's going to be a good one. Heat number 2, again, same format as heat number 1. We're going to be seeing our top 15 moving on from these 20 drivers. It will automatically be moving on to our featured race.
Samuel, our producer's laughing at me in the background because I said Mike Malirio or something like that. And I didn't realize that it was Mike Miller with the 10 on the back.
So, to be fair, on our live telemetry, Mike Miller, his name is like an undercase B and an uppercase ILLRE. Like, it really was throwing us off at the start. Mark Miller, we're excited for you, but your name really did throw us off at the start.
I was thinking Jello, Jelloo. You know, here we go. Green flag. Shut up. Pace car is in. Here they come into the Geico restart zone. Green flag, B-main number 2 underway. 10 laps, 3 green-white checkers if needed for attempts. And Edie Nicholson, they'll send him off into orbit, high into the banks into turn 1.
It's all about finding the lane and making sure that you're in a safe place. And currently, we're seeing all the aggression of the drivers that are in our top 13, keeping themselves up front, stacked up with one another. But the drivers that are back for that 15th position, they're all still kind of playing it nice, giving each other a lot of space to play with. So these drivers further back, I don't think they're recognizing, hey, it's time to get too aggressive until we get 3 laps to go.
Side by side, up a turn 3 and 4, just like in the last heat. Yeah, Will Ferrell, Elf Truck there in 4th with Garrett. Off of turn 4. I'm loving these holiday look on the wraps of these trucks, Samuel. But when you're so used to knowing the names of all of these guys and then they're driving different rap jobs, and I've always said that this is confusion for guys like in the Bud Shootout races or the All-Star races like the Winston or what is the NASCAR All-Star race that was held at Texas. When they change their wraps on their cars, sometimes it's hard to recognize them, and thank goodness we have timing and scoring as our friend.
Yeah, timing and scoring saves us a lot of the time, and especially at these super speedway races where everyone's on top of one another. Sometimes our telemetry can fool us if we're not too keen on the car numbers on where drivers are at, because of it constantly being side by side and drivers changing position everywhere that they are. It can almost sometimes trick us as drivers putting down another lap down. But the question is, will we see the big ones happen and big wrecks like we saw in Heat 1? But Wesley, these drivers got to see all of Heat 1, so maybe they've learned, hey, let's be patient until later on. Let's not put ourselves into overtime for Heat number 2.
Yeah, maybe we were a little bit aggressive. Maybe we saw some aggressive driving. We don't need to do that. And honestly, Samuel, I think we're setting ourselves up for just like what happened in Heat 1. By the way, aerial coverage for tonight's Holiday Classic Buttkicker 300 for iRacing is presented by Live Sim Racing, your home for sim racing. The new year is upon us, and if you're interested in wanting to be a sponsor for any of our iRacing broadcast coverage, including the Northwest Racing Series, the Sim 500 League, the main racing series, and any more, go to livesimracing.com to be a part of it.
We are excited for the new year. So many new things coming here on LSRTV, and just excited to see what is 2022 going to give us, Wesley, as 2021, a pretty big year for us at LSRTV. 4K, new graphics. We're on webcam sometimes and showing our faces. I cannot wait to see what the new year brings for us.
Samuel, I grew a beard for you.
Well, we haven't seen it on camera just yet, so if you hold on to that until we're on camera, maybe then, then we'll have that proof.
And we got a new iRacing weekly racing podcast we're working on, and of course, Finish Line. The finale of Finish Line for season 3 is this Wednesday, and I got some pretty cool guest lines up. I can't tell you all of them. They're going to be good. I will tell you though, Samuel. No, the finale of Finish Line is this Wednesday. No more Finish Line until January 5th. So you get to sleep in a little bit, Charles. 6 to go, by the way. We're cut up on halfway.
Yeah, we are coming up to halfway, and we're starting to see the aggression start to mount up a little bit more in the back half of this field up front.
And I'm digging that 99 truck.
It's good looking truck, that is for sure.
I like the grades,
too. The one thing, though, that's throwing me off is that on our ticker, it's the 10 to Dustin Lamb, but on
I was
the truck,
say that.
It's actually the 99.
It's 99. I was going to say that, yes. And just like Lamb or Garrett is actually, is it Garrett, I think, is actually the truck on the outside. It's the 4 or the 25, but it's actually the 13. So we apologize for that. That irks us as broadcasters just like it irks you in the broadcast for people watching. Like, what is the numbers? Are they dyslexic and they get their numbers backwards? What is it? Battle for the lead. Mickelson and Eddie are fighting for the top spot as they go to the back stretch. And Samuel, by the way, we're halfway in heat number 2, and this heat race has been pretty clean. It's been clean.
Yeah, it's been very clean up front. They've been playing nice. There's been a couple of moments where there's been some scares where Dustin Lamb's drifted up a little bit too far for my liking, and also we've seen some drivers dropping a little bit further down than they probably should be. But for the drivers that are racing around this bubble spot of 15th place, it is at the tail end of this lead pack, and we're starting to see some drivers that have been playing patient now thinking about making some surges forward. But man, it is about to get very intense with 3 laps to go. Some of these drivers further back, they're going to make some very bold moves, and it could be the cause of a big one.
Back straight away into the 3rd turn. Mickelson is the leader. Edie, Garrett, Lamb, McConnell. By the way, Klamas in the 54.
Yellow flag
we got a
waves,
caution.
they're wrecking to the back.
Yellow flag is out. Caution out in the back. And oh my goodness. Oh no, the 96 machine. It's Miller. Miller spins.
Our producer just threw out the wrong name. That is not fair. I'm going to give you that one, Wesley. That was not fair by our producer.
Aren't you glad I caught it? Sometimes
We saw where you were going.
Not to repeat that the producer tells you, okay? By the way, it is Miller, not Miller area, whatever it was. I can't even say it now.
Whoa!
Oh, no. Wow, and some
Jeez.
others in the wall, too. What impact. Oh, my goodness. Ho, 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 ho. Millerio. We're on board with Mark Millerio. The 10, the 06. No, it's Mark Miller. Watch this. Take a listen
Mark
as well.
Miller.
It's going to sound pretty scary.
Mark Miller 10 might be losing one of those lives and become Mark Miller 9 after this contact.
3 wide in front of them. Oh, my goodness. Pick a lane. Pick a lane, would you? Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, no. Oh. Sometimes you just don't need to be driving up under somebody that...
Yeah, and, you know, I was looking at some of these drivers. You know, we've on our end, we've got more telemetry and data we can see on these drivers. We can see their iRacing rankings that they have. They have their I rating and their safety rating. Those are two things that you can gain and get more experience on iRacing when you get your membership and start racing on the servers. And the driver that poked his nose through the middle of Torrey Thompson was one of the drivers that I was kind of concerned about just based off the experience level of the 88. And that was a very gutsy move, forcing it down the middle, and there just was not enough space. That's what brought out this caution. And Wesley, with the timing of this yellow, it now puts us into overtime.
And by the way, yeah, I mean, we had a caution before, right before 3 to go in the first heat. Now we've had a caution with about 5 laps to go, but it's still, if you sequence it out, yeah, they are going to go to overtime number 1. So here we go. Samuel, what's your favorite type job, man? And I got to say, my favorite, Mike Adamson, the Grinch truck in heat number 1.
What is up with you and I always picking the same ones? Okay, I'm going to switch things up. I'm actually kind of liking the 41 right now. I will say this. Dennis's Grinch, going with the classic Dr. Seuss scheme Grinch. That's a good-looking one.
I don't know if you heard my voice drop there. You're a mean one.
Oh, I heard it, but we got to be
Mr.
dangerous.
Grinch.
We had our Halloween special. We almost got in trouble with that one. We could get in too much trouble singing too many holiday songs.
When did we get in trouble for Halloween? What do we do on Halloween? What happened? Oh, you did it.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you did it.
I was not here.
You did the voiceover.
There was Halloween music being played. No. Someone was playing some copyrighted music. We almost got in trouble.
I remember that. I was queuing up the Freddy Krueger theme and the Jason music. Well, I just did my own rendition of Mr. Grinch. So, lights are off for the pace car, by the way. Overtime number 1 coming up. Oh, no. Producer did not get some good news for that. Oh, well. Lawsuits are pending, but I'm not paying for it.
I mean, if you are getting a lawsuit for it being too close, I guess that's...
Jeff Stab now. Send the bill to Jeff Stab now and Rocket Media. Avoid me and Samuel Dyer at all costs.
I mean, I guess... I think you can... I think you could say that you got, honored by if you're getting sued for being too close to the actual pitch and everything.
Oh, I was really close?
Well, if you are getting sued for that. Alrighty.
I just know how to drop it low.
Well, it's heat number 2. We're going for our first attempt at overtime. We had our fun. We're having a fun time because we know there's going to be a lot more racing throughout the night. We still got our 100-lap featured race. We still have our LCQ race after this. But first, can we get through this first attempt at overtime?
Here we go. The field will make their way to the Geico restart zone. And we go back to green with overtime attempt number 1 here. All part of the 2021 iRail Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300. Pace car is in. Here they come, back to the restone. Grinch sends it back to speed. Turn one, pack of wolves behind him. That's Mickelson inside, Edie on the outside, and they're wrecking
they're
at the
already
starting
spinning
line.
behind.
We're racing again, and we're wrecking again in the tri-oval. And the caution is not out yet. They've not waved caution. No caution. Green will stay out, and they're in turn two on the back straightaway coming to the white next time by, Samuel.
And right now, it's all about the drivers that are in this lead pack. Everyone that is in this lead pack are all your top 15. So they got to make sure that they stay together, they don't make any mistakes, and get to that white flag. If they do, our top 15, they're looking good to be moving on.
Coming to the white, race is official. If they wreck, they'll go back to timing and scoring to determine the finishing order. With that said, they work off the tri-oval, slicing and dicing through the virtual pavement, through the tri-oval, white flag in the air. Mickelson one more time around, Edie, Lamb, Garrett, McConnell on the bubble as Thompson. They're into turn one for the final time in the heat race 2.
Going to be having a 15-car breakaway currently on the white flag. It's going to be the 88 of Torrey Thompson, who brought out our only yellow of the night. And the 88 might be moving on to our featured race. All that this lead group has to do is survive, making it across the line, and all 15 drivers move on. Everyone else that was caught up in that wreck on the restart, the yellow didn't come, and their chances are going to be thrown to the LCQ as here comes Mickels up front. Will there be a late charge out of turn 4?
Mickelson inside, Lamb final shot after him, and that's all 15 trucks as Sammy Ryan on to the line. Checkered flag. Mickelson will win heat number 2. Lamb and Eddie will cross the line second to third, and yes, 15th will go, I believe unofficially, to Torrey Thompson. Torrey Thompson got, no, my apology. Yeah, Torrey Thompson got 15th, yes. So here's your results. Dennis Mickelson, there's the winner. Lamb second, Edie third, McConnell, followed by Garrett, Sheets, Medina, Pierce, Ford, Bonwell. Top 10 in heat number 2.
And then it's going to be in 11th, Roll Meza with Zimmerman as well as Burke. And then we find that of Miller, Thompson going to be your top 15 that move on. And then you got that of Moru as well as that of Turret, Hill, and others that just are now going to be forced into their LCQ, which we wait to see what the official number is going to be. And it is going to be a 10-lap shootout, 13, I believe actually only 12 drivers that are going to be racing in this. In Wesley, only the top 3 get to move on to our featured race.
This is the hooligan race right here. They're grinning. This is going to be the Grinch race right here. This is going to be the max destruction. Ry Lewis on the pole. Eddie Donahue, row 1. Holding nothing back. Row number 2, Jonathan Cofield, Matt Moreau. Row 3, Jerry Nadeau and Josh Terrett-Hill in the 8. Row 4, David Stryker, Tyler Clemas, Samuel. Top 8 as we go here.
Then it's going to be that of Cardell as well as Vinson. And then our only last driver in, going to be that of Will Cloud, as Derek Fulton's going to be our race control for tonight. So he will not be gridding. 11 drivers will be gridding up for this race. And only the top 3 get to move on to the featured. And Wesley, these drivers, they had to pay $25 to be entered into this event. And for some, they were already complaining, being involved in that first heat and incidences. Drivers were saying, man, did I just waste $25 on this race? Now you put in for a great event. It has been a great show so far in our first 2 heats. But now it's time to see in our LCQ who's moving on. There's already wrecking going on in the warm-up lap.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no, Wesley.
What in the world? They didn't even take the green. They are wrecking under caution on the warm-up lap.
David Stryker just came over the radio. His pedals just randomly turned off and sent him going when he did not want to take off. And that is why the 29 just launches up.
Watch this.
And getting more reports, it sounds like Stryker's dog might have been an influence here, going underneath, touching his pedals, and that's what caused the 29 to get out of control and already hurting drivers before we even get going here in the LCQ.
I'm sure the 54 is like, dude, what the hell were you thinking? Hey, and for Stryker, bad dog, no biscuit. Oh,
Well, that's
wow.
not, giving out holiday cheer on the LCQ. There's gaining advantages, and then there's just taking out your competitors.
And then there's Daytona Whoville. And this is, by the way, going to wave off the start of the B main. Can we take a break? We will, because they're going to have to re-rack and restack this thing. We'll be back with more. This should be
There's nothing they can do.
Oh.
They were given an extra lap to get everyone back on. The drivers that got the damage, they are stuck with that damage. No, there's no way to reset. They're stuck with this.
Dude, that sucks for Tyler Clemmas, there in the 54 truck. Because he had no, and for Stryker too, don't get me wrong. But wow, he just got turned into for no reason. I thought maybe they had some unfinished
one
business.
thing. Race control came over. They tried everything that they can and told the drivers, there's nothing that we can do about this situation. They added an extra lap to allow these drivers to get in line. They also gave that of Stryker and EOL, so he'll be starting at the end of the line on this restart instead of being in row number 5. But for a lot of these drivers, this now is going to be putting big question marks on, okay, who's going to be an actual driver that doesn't have damage? Who's going to be the fastest ones to be around? Because only the top 3 get to move on from this race. And we'll see if some of these drivers, we've seen them be quick during their heat races, and others, will they find a little bit more speed here as they're only going to have 10 laps to clear things up.
This is it. They'll get ready to send it back off into restart land for actually the start of this B main. 10 laps, same as the distance of the heat races. They did wave off the green flag start, so this will actually be the initial start of your B main. It should be a wild Scrooge Crinchfield B main for 3 spots. We're only taking 3. They're so excited. They were wrecking each other like they were in the funny papers before the green fell. Now it's green flag. Now it's official. It's Grinch time. B main, we're taking 3. We're underway as they roar to turn 1 with Lewis at speed to the corner.
And Ryan Lewis is already going to be taking off, getting in line. Update for the drivers that were involved. Tyler Clemmas, who was involved in that incident before they even went green, the 54. When they came out of turn number 4, the engine blew. He had to take a tow to pit road, use his fast repair already. He's back out on track, but he is not with this lead group. He's going to need a caution if he wants to get back into this race.
Field off to turn 3, inside, Lewis, Cofield, Donahue, and Nadeau on the outside looking in by 1 spot. Working patiently through the tri-oval. 1 in, 9 to go. B main. Who's going? We're taking 3. Lewis leads them to turn 1.
Oh, that's a very aggressive move by that of Cofield, who decided to move up, saw the momentum on the outside, came up a little bit late, but just the perfect time to get that bump that he needed, and now up to the lead. But that outside line, they're still moving along, and I would not be surprised with all the jostlings going on, Wesley. We could see a wreck happening before this LCQ is finished.
They might take out that entire pack right there of about 11 trucks nestled right there with one another. There's 10. One guy fell back. Clemmas is way to the back in 54 after getting hit by Stryker. And honestly, Stryker right there in the catbird seat being in this pack. Here they go, slicing and dicing through the tri-oval. Outside lane, picking up speed. There's Crandall. Hooks up with the 12 of Donahue. And they're going at it again to turn 1. Top 4, 2 by 2. Now inside, Cofield pulls away to 2.
Yeah, and right now for that of Donahue, got to be careful for that of the seeing himself moving back and forth. Your goal when you're a lead driver is to stay steady, hold a line, and he gets bumped and taken off the wreck.
Nadeau involved. Nadeau. Lewis spins. They're wrecking steel into the wall. Vincent in the raw wrecked. Cofield got around it. There's Nadeau's Buddy Project entry tore up, and we're under caution again. Wow. Holy cow.
Well, luckily for all the drivers that were involved with this, Wesley, they do have a fast repair in pit road. But again, you're going to see the 12. He's just moving up and down so much. And when you've got a driver that's trying to bump draft like the 73, just one bump and away he goes.
Wow. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, heartbreak for Jerry Nadeau. And Samuel, truck might not be that badly damaged. Not sure. Cofield, the man out in front. That 20 of Lewis was out there. And now, new entries leading. And remember, caution laps count in these B mains. Heat races, B mains, to make the time go by. Okay, that was a lame excuse. To make the show speed up. I think that's a more way of saying it. Time has made caution laps count. And then there's the attempts of green, white checker, Samuel. And I think that makes it more exciting, honestly. So here we go.
Yeah, and driver is going to be up front. Not going to be seeing Cofield coming to pit road, nor are we going to be seeing Stryker, but everyone else that was involved coming into pit road, and most likely going to have to use their fast repair. But with the amount of wrecks that we're going to be seeing here, I don't know if you really want to use your fast repair on this wreck. There could be another one that comes. And if you've already used your fast repair and you're caught up in another major wreck that blows up your engine, if you've already used your fast repair, your night is done and you will not be racing for the featured race. So we're now seeing everyone that's coming into pit road. The only driver most likely that is going to have a fast repair left if another wreck happens is going to be our leader currently.
Got people coming down to the pit lane, as you mentioned, work being done. Hello to folks that are watching. We got Gnarl Stank Bud, Josh's mom, Mason Hosman, Keith Bradley, what's up, man? The Animal out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Haas Unit, Betty Francis, Andrew Lemke. By the way, Nazareth returned the other week ago. I think Samuel had something to do with that for the trucks. Andrew Lemke, see you guys Tuesday. That's right, the Northwest Pro Late Model Series. And also Nazareth Trucks returning. We've got the Sim 500 Trans Service Blizzard Series tomorrow night. John Mushin and myself on the call for that one. Hello to Jess Vaught. TJ Travel Esports, both Lambs. Okay, can you update your trading paints, iRacing and LSRTV? Some of the paint schemes y'all were mentioning were wrong. We apologize on that. See, that's what I was trying to tell you. Chris Stamper, Clint Cox.
Yeah. I will say this for the trading paints, we've already updated them multiple times before, right when the drivers loaded in. So these are the schemes that are showing to everyone else. So
Gotcha.
There are times when the schemes are not always going to be the right ones. That is not on us. We've done everything in our power to make sure they are the most updated schemes that they can be.
Can we hit 100 live views? The 100 lap feature is still to come. Yes. Hey, share. Everybody, do what you're doing right now and click on the little, listen to me very carefully, click on your screen, and then on the up top right, click on share. And share this broadcast. It's very simple to do. Click on it, click on the chat box, close it real quick. Like next to live chat, there's a share button. Give a thumbs up. I just gave a thumbs up. Share the race. Well, some people give a thumbs down if you want to give a thumbs down. I don't know. There we go. To each their own, right, Samuel? Come on.
Well, I mean, we can't see how many people have disliked it, so it's okay. As long as you're liking it, we're happy.
Hey, by the way, Friday night, the Nazareth trucks were at Daytona. Right here. Samuel, did you do that race on Friday night? I was doing
a couple of Friday nights ago. We were going in. We were helping cover for one of their playoff races. That was from a while ago. We only covered their one race, but Nazareth back for 2022. We're excited for that coverage. Man, cannot wait for it. Friday nights in 2022. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, they asked me could I do a couple of Nazareth events this year, and I'm like, well, it just depends on the day of the week. But I do enjoy this one-off special event here, the iReal Holiday Classic Buttkicker 300. I always enjoy working with Samuel Dyer. Greg Rentz is back with us again doing the Northwest Pro Late Models. And we're getting ready for the restart. Oh. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, no. Wesley. Tell him you can't find
Oh,
me.
boy.
We're back to green. Jonathan Cofield out in front. Samuel, here's an awesome story. Poor Tyler Clamas wrecked during caution laps before the start of the B main. And now, 48 Cloud almost into the wall on the back straightaway. He's up to second now, man. He could possibly go to the show. Clamas.
Yeah,
in the
possibly
54,
can.
he's
Again,
third.
top 3 get to move on to our featured race. So the pressure is on, and now going to be side by side for that second row. The drivers had made contact under our warm-ups before this LCQ even got started. Contact was made, and there they go.
No. Oh, wow. Holy smokes. Up the fence, crashing through the wall in the air is Cloud. He literally found that Cloud through the air. The caution is out. 3 to go. He's cattywampus, crab walking through the tribal grass now as the caution waves. And we are setting up overtime. Number 1. All 2 heat races and the B main, Samuel, are going to overtime. I believe I can fly. Look out, Cloud in 48.
Yeah, Cloud's going to be pinching extremely low, not giving any space. So if you start to see a driver make a little bit of a shimmy, touching the apron just slightly, it's the 53. And because the 53 touched the apron, got a little bit tight, and the rear end wanted to snap just a little bit, and there was no room. Cloud got tapped, moved up into the wall, and for that of Cloud, he had already used his fast repair and an early exit for the 48 team.
And such disappointment for Cloud too, Samuel, because man, he had a really strong truck. I mean, my goodness. He looked really good. He was battling. He about hit the wall on the back straightaway. And honestly, Samuel, that's what happened. That's the result of what took place. And look who is up in front. From the penthouse to the outhouse, the 54, Tyler Clamas, is now the leader of this B main. He got wrecked earlier tonight in the start of the B main, and then he dropped a green flag by Stryker. And now he is just licking his chops in P1. Possibly could seal the deal and go to the A main for the 200-lap feature, Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, Klaus could be our Rudolph of the LCQ. Got forced into the LCQ, got bullied before we even got the green of the LCQ race, and now up front at the start of the green-white checkered. Could he bring this whole entire field to the end of this LCQ and be the lead driver to be moving on to the featured race? He'd be at the tail end if he made it to the featured race, but that's the goal for all these drivers that are still out on track. The 9 drivers, I take that back, 8 drivers that are still out on track. Will they be able to make it to the end? That is the big question, as it's going to be that Clamas as well as Stryker, the 2 drivers that made contact before we went green in this B main. Could we see a little bit of more complications of them making contact? As I do want to give note that of Stryker as well as Ry Lewis. Those are the 2 drivers that still have their fast repairs. I thought Stryker and Lewis had already used theirs. I take that back. They are the only 2 trucks that still have a fast repair, so they get caught up in an incident, they come in pit road and still have a chance.
I've always wanted to say this to you, Samuel, from the movies. That's a bold strategy. See if it pays off. There's Tyler Clamas from Elkin, North Carolina. David Stryker, also from Cool, California. So from Carolina to California, they're right now 1 and 2. Jerry Nadeau getting a free pass. He gets the wave around. He takes the wave around here as the lights are off on the pace car. We do want to say thanks to former NASCAR competitor from Danbury, Connecticut, Jerry Nadeau, for joining us, racing with part of this event. Great having him here.
He hasn't had the best luck so far tonight, but we know that all you need is just one good moment, and you can find yourself moving on to that featured race.
Everybody directly in front of him. Gerald Nadeau, by the way, not only a Winston Cup racer, he also ran from starting in his career in go-karts. He's ran the 12 hours of Sebring. Hey, that's something that Jeff did a couple of weeks ago with some of the Northwest people. Ran 24 hours of Sebring, the European Formula Ford Festival, and the Barber Dodge Pro Series. Just some of the accomplishments. His first career win, NASCAR 2000, Napa 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And again, thanks to Jerry Nadeau and the Buddy Project for being here for this race tonight in the iReal Buttkicker 300 Holiday Classic. Lights are off on the pace car. Samuel, here we go, brother. Attempt number 1.
Oh boy, I don't see us finishing on this first attempt, but who knows? They might surprise us here.
Me either. Get the popcorn ready, boys. As I told my friend Jackie's in on the porch last night for 7 hours. This is going to be wild. Here we go. The intensity is on. They're 2x2x2, and then there were, what, 5 or 6? Man, it looked like they were having trouble getting going on the start. Green flag, green, white, checker coming up. By the way, Jackie, enjoyed hanging out with you for 7 hours last night. I never realized you could have so much fun and conversation on the front porch. Here we go, Samuel, into 1 and 2. Clamas is holding his line. Morrow right there with him. Crandall and Stryker, look out. Oh, my goodness. 3 wide. Samuel, oh my goodness. Oh, my.
Oh, this isn't looking
Stryker.
good. They're making some aggressive moves.
Stryker falling back. Shout out to Mike Adamson. Thanks for watching, buddy. He ran earlier. I like your truck, by the way. Here they come. Look at this, Samuel. Boy, talk about bump drafting, talking about just trying to cut the air off from one another. This is on like Donkey Kong at Daytona. 1 to go. We're taking 3. White flag. CRN 1 to go in the B main.
And it's all about the top 3. The top 3 move on, and they're already wrecking. The gloves are off. No yellow is going to be thrown. We stay green, and it's going to be all on their top 4. Oh, no, they're wrecking.
Clamas and Donahue are now in 3rd. Crandall, 26 up the racetrack of Moreau, and they're peed off. Look, is that Jerry Nadeau to 3rd? That's Nadeau to 3rd.
Nadeau is 5th. Nadeau is a lap down. He is not the driver that is going to be moving on.
Oh, got excited for nothing. Here you go. In the B turn number 3. Clamas, Donahue. Donahue inside. Buddy, don't try to take him out. Just stay right there. You guys are going to the show. Clamas from Elkin, North Carolina will come to the line. Samuel, he will win the B main. Wrecked before the
battle for
flag
3rd
fell. Look at this. For 3rd at the finish. Who's it going to be? Number 8. Yeah. We like truck 8. Samuel, what a crazy last lap, man. What in the world they... Oh.
Yeah. They just wiped the floor with everyone. Oh,
so
boy.
Tyler Clamas, Eddie Donahue, and Joshua, and I believe that's Josh's mom in the chat box on our broadcast in 4K. Joshua Charatheel is going in. Crandall, Cofield, Moreau, Lewis, Stryker, Vincent, Nadeau, all out. Their night is done here for the Buttkicker 300. Samuel, you got the rest of the lineup, or the rest of the finish order, man.
Yeah, that last driver going to be that of Will Cloud, who got a real nice look at what the grandstands look like for a quick second. As our field, only 11 drivers. It was all on the top 3 that we're going to move on. But, man, Wesley, to think, Tyler, the 54 blew up his engine before we even went green on that LCQ, got the caution he needed, used this fast repair, and is now to the featured race for 100 laps and a chance to get some good prizes here at the end.
And for almost over an hour, we have stayed live to give you extended coverage of this event for the Buttkicker 300 with iRail and LSRTV. We are going to step away. We got to reset. We got to regroup. They've got 90 seconds of practice, and we are going to the 100-lap feature. Coming up next, strap in. It's a good one. And Merry Christmas and Happy Ho-Ho-Ho to you from your leader of sim racing.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
Welcome back to live sim racing coverage of the 2021 iRail Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300 on your home for sim racing. We are not wasting no time. It is go time. We've got a 43-car field to introduce. Let's give you your starting lineup here at Daytona with Samuel Dyer and myself, Wesley Outland. Andrew Navarro, he's on the pole. Fast qualifier earlier, long time ago in the afternoon. He's on the pole in the 42, or it seems that way. Matthew Lee, the 04 to the outside from Maine. Row 2. Albert Anderson in the 12 to the outside. Douglas New beginning in the 70. Row number, we're going to go fast, by the way. Colton Zimmer in the 09. Brett Murphy in the 64. Row 3. Row 4. We got Winnie Dorfer in the 69. Tyler Malotny in the 50. Row 4. Row number 5 on the grid. We'll find David Mayberry in the 31. Stephen Scott Jr. in the 77. Row 5. Row 6 on the grid. We'll find Parker Retzlaff in 47. Dennis Mickelson in the 41. Row 6. Row 7. TJ Roberts in the 11, Dustin Lamb in the 10. Row number 8 on the grid. We'll find Derek Stanley in 52, Brian Eddy in the 30 machine. Row number 9, Matthew Baker in the 5, Patrick McConnell in the 40, and around the top 20, halfway through the field. Jason Rayjock and Ellis Garrett as Samuel gives you the rest of the 43-car field at Daytona.
And it's going to be that of Luke Baldwin as well as David Sheets. And then in row number 12, we're going to be finding that of Jay Jensen and also Jose Medina in the 24. Row number 13, we're going to be finding ourselves with that of Michael Adamson as well as Chase Pearson in the 65. Row number 14, Dustin Reel as well as Jeffrey Ford. And we still got a lot more to go. Row number 15, we find that of Dale Adamson and also Josh Bowell going to be in the 56. 16th row going to be that of Tyler Evans as well as Raul Meza. And further back, we find the drivers that are coming in late. It's going to be that of Nicholas Lamb as well as Eric Zimmerman in the 94. In row number 18, it's that of Chad Ross, that of Jeremiah Burke. Then in row number 19, we find that of Ted Wade and Mark Miller. And in row number 20, it's going to be that of Chris Cinnamon and Tori Thompson. And from the LCQ, you just saw him get in. It's Tyler Clemus as well as Eddie Donahoe as well as the last driver in. It's Josh Teller-Hill.
And we successfully got the entire lineup in. Are you ready? Are you set? It's time. Buttkicker 300. 100 laps now. Ready. Green flag. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all you celebrate. We're underway, and it's time to fire them up on this holiday season as they roar to one in Daytona. 43 trucks at green, and you have a virtual race. Hope you enjoy the roar, the sound, and the speed. 43 trucks in their virtual kaleidoscope of colors nestle into orbit around Daytona. We're 2 laps in. And Samuel, man, what action do you pick? We're at the front of the pack with Navarro leading up. Lee on the outside. Anderson, new beginning right there. Zimmer, top 5. And they're all bunched up tighter than the lid on a pickle jar that you're fighting over for your grandma at the Thanksgiving dinner table before Christmas, down to 3.
Yeah, right now we're starting to see that of Navarro and Lee, both drivers that made sure that they came in as allies, trying to help one another. And when you've got 2 drivers protecting both the inside and the outside lane, there is so much control, because you have the control of, I can drop down in front of a friend that's going to push me, or if my lane starts to move forward, maybe I can try to give a little bit of space to make sure they can get in line. So it's going to be a lot of fluctuating up front. But Wesley, this lead pack, 30 drivers still in this lead draft here. About everyone else further back, they've dropped off in their own little pockets and packs. I think everyone's recognizing the big one will hit, and how many drivers will be involved in that. But luckily for these drivers, they do have a fast repair, so the aggression can kick in early on if they want.
I've always said this, I felt, me and you talked about it during commercial break with our producers, and I felt that it was going to be this way. Just kind of ride and drive right now. Settle yourselves in. Remember, the money lap is the last lap. That's where you want to be at the end for that big butt kicker and the payday. Everyone else, ride, be patient. Set the tone early. Get through the 3/4 of the race, I believe, Samuel. We might have a caution around the time or two with a spin out or a truck hitting the wall, maybe. But for the most part, these guys, I think they're going to settle in, and then the calamity's going to come. The chaos is going to come. The Whovilles are going to become Grinch at Daytona with 25 to go.
Yeah, I think the big thing for a lot of these drivers is they had those heat races, so they got a lot of that early jitters already thrown out, and all those early wrecks in Heat 1 and Heat 2 kind of gave a lot of these drivers that, okay, we can't be too aggressive, but that was a good little preview of what these final 15 to 20 laps can be like. Let's just get to that point. But for the drivers that qualified so well in the top 10 and automatically moved on, I mean, Wesley, we were live for almost a full hour, and these drivers that locked themselves in had to just sit for an hour. They had to wait for their time, finally be all out on track, and now they're finally getting their little bit of a taste of what these first 5 to 10 laps are like. Currently, everyone's playing nice, but will they be able to react later on when everyone's making their big moves?
Navarro, the man out in front. And at 42, down to the inside, Matthew Lee from Maine. On the outside. Here comes New Bigging in the 70. Navarro now pushed back to 3rd as Matthew Lee will go to the lead as they work out of turn 2.
Yeah, this is the big thing with, having an ally with Matthew Lee and Navarro now in line up front. They're now on top of one another, and they've both raced with one another a lot. They know how to recognize in these trucks when to push, when to let off, or give some breathing air. As right now, Navarro right on the back bumper of Matthew Lee, and you got to be careful of staying on someone's back bumper for too long. You can stay on that back bumper for about a lap and a half, just staying there before the engine blows up. And right there, Andrew Navarro wanted to give just enough space so he could climb up, making the move. And once again, it's the 42 as well as that of the 04, wanting to make sure they're the lead drivers on the high line and the low line.
What's that lyrics from Smokey and the Bandit? We got a long way to go, but a short time to get there. 8 laps in, 100 the distance, overtime if needed. And right now, 5 rows door to door with Navarro now for the second time, powering out to the lead. He makes now 3 lead changes among 2 drivers, Navarro and Lee. Lee battles back to make it lead change number 4 between the 2 drivers and the 3.
Yeah, they keep on just dicing it back and forth, and with the control that they have, showing that they've got that early strength. But Wesley, we've watched a lot of these super speedway races here on iRacing. Usually when you're up front, you're dominating the first half of this race, it doesn't mean that you're going to be surviving and being up there in the second half of the race. So for a lot of these drivers, they got to be knowing, hey, we might be fast currently. We're showing all of our cards immediately. Those drivers further back, they're still waiting and looming, such as the drivers back in 12th and 13th. I mean, Parker Retzlaff and all these drivers back in this a little bit of a further pack than our front 10. They already came over the radio in the first 3 laps of this race and said, hey, we're just riding. We're not trying to pressure. We'll let these drivers up front put all the aggression in. Let's just wait back, hold on. I mean, there are 42 drivers still out here on track. Ellis Garrett did not take the green, so we only had 42 that hit the course, and all still out on track currently.
And we're about to go 1/10 of the way through. I know that sounds a lot. There's still 9/10 remaining. 90 laps to go. Navarro slips a minute. Newbegin right there behind him. And here comes Anderson. Navarro, Matthew Lee to the bottom. Boy, just a little slip there. And Samuel, I'm telling you, man, bump drafting. We're watching. The bump draft from the tailgate shot up the racetrack. We've seen that happen to Cofield. We saw it happen to Lewis. We've seen it happen to Cloud. That's the product of what we have. You get a little shot, kicking the pants from somebody from the back end, and you can go flying or spinning.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. I think a lot of these drivers that are now in this featured race recognize, hey, we don't need a bump draft. We're not in a 10-lap heat race where you need to make the big moves early on. And you still got 90 laps to go, so let's be patient. Let's make our moves. And for some drivers, they're moving forward. I mean, we know here in this Truck Series qualifying, based off of where you are on track position, you can gain a lot of spots very quickly. And some of our biggest movers right now, Dale Adamson, currently in 13th place, biggest mover so far, up 16 positions. Josh Bonwell going to be up to 18th, up 12 positions. And as well, the third biggest mover is going to be that of Nicholas Lamb, back in 22nd place, up 11 positions. And there's a lot of drivers that have decided to do the opposite, lose ground to try to make sure they're out of trouble. Back in 34th place, David Mayberry, down 25 spots from where he started, but is back with these drivers that are deciding to just stay out of trouble until later on.
Lap 12 of 100. Lee and Navarro have been flip-flopping the top spot amongst the 6 or 7 lead changing in 2 drivers. Newbegin has been able to get up to 3rd. How do you say that, by the way, Sam? Is it new beginning or new bigging? New bigging?
I think it's new bigging.
Okay, that broadcast school paid off then.
See, my issue is I never went to broadcast school. That's where I need to go.
Navarro, Lee, new beginning, Anderson, turn 1. And Murphy, the top 5. They work their way off of turn number 2. Look at this. Still early, Samuel. And honestly, this is the product of what I thought we were going to see. Honestly, Samuel, I thought it was going to be, let's be patient. Let's just hold on. Get in a pack. Ride. Obviously, things are going to get shuffled up when we have the green flag pit stop, because they're going to have to pit probably, about the next 20 laps maybe? I'm thinking between 35 to 40 they're going to have to pit. So maybe 2.5 pit stops.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, if we get green flag pit stops, there's a chance. These drivers were given 3 sets of tires for this featured race, 1 fast repair, and as well, were given 75% their fuel load, so meaning that they can only go 75% compared to what their full potential could be, which I believe that puts these trucks around lap 28 to 30 for themselves. But if you're in the draft, you might be able to stretch it even further than that, so we'll keep an eye on these drivers, which, you know, being a leader of this pack, Andrew Navarro and Matthew Lee, both these drivers are not in fuel-saving mode, trying to make sure that they're staying up front, those lead 2 positions. And this is a strategy call for certain drivers. Some like to fall back, wait until later on in the race, expecting the big one to happen at some point. And the drivers up front trying to make sure that they are in front of what could be the wreck and make sure they are not involved. They have the track position for the whole entire race. But Wesley, for green flag pit stops, we haven't seen anybody make a pit stop yet here tonight. So they've had over an hour of just constant racing. The only pit stops they've had has been under yellow, and no green flag pit stops. That could be a factor that could be bringing out a lot of wrecks and drivers being collected, because when you've got over 40 drivers on track and you've got about 15 that want to come in, or 20 or more that all want to come in at one moment, that giant fan out and potential of a big wreck on the entry pit road, it is extremely high, especially here tonight.
85 laps to go, 15 in. Look at them work their way. We'll give you the full field rundown around lap number 25. With a quarter of the way through. He's Samuel Dyer. I'm Wesley Outland, and Navarro and Lee continue to flip-flop lead changes 1 and 2 amongst 10 times in this race. So 10 lead changes amongst 2 drivers. And it's been those 2 right there. 1 lap it's Lee. Next lap it's Navarro. Navarro will surrender it back to Lee. Now Navarro will paddle back on the outside. Now remember, it doesn't become official until they cross the start-finish line. The official lead changes count at the scoring loop at start-finish in the tri-oval. You can flip-flop these guys 20 times back and forth around the racetrack like they're doing now, Samuel, but it's not official until they cross that scoring loop, as here comes Navarro. He'll get the pass on the outside. Lee will battle back. He'll come up short, give Navarro the lead that time by on lap 16.
Yeah, and right now, with how massive these lanes are and the fact that we're going to be seeing some drivers just abusing these passes later on in this race, you know, they're getting a little bit of a sense for the drivers that are further back on how they want to attack for a pass for potentially the lead or just for positioning. For Navarro and Lee, though, they're at the mercy of the drivers behind them. As you're a front runner, you are full throttle. There is no let off for yourself. You are constantly trying to move forward. It's the drivers behind you that allow you to get the extra boost to move forward and get a surge. And as you can see now, it is equal between both lanes on the amount of drivers that are really trying to go forward. And it's our top about 12, all in this aggressiveness currently, all stacked on top of one another with 18 laps now put down.
It's the Buttkicker 300. It's sanctioned by iRail. If you'd like to know more details, go to IREL, at IREL on Facebook for their esports company. Of course, we're LSRTV Productions at LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, livesimracing.com. I'm Wesley Outland. Samuel Dyer is alongside, and right now Matthew Lee goes back to the lead. Anderson, though, climbing. He's up to second in that red, white, and blue Old Glory number 12. Navarro battles back on the outside. He'll now go back to P2. Anderson to P3. New Begin Geek. Oh, I'm worried he ruined his name. Yeah.
Bigging.
Bigging.
New Bigging.
New Bigging.
He's making the moves.
Yeah, New Bigging. Yeah. I said it perfectly, now I'm butchered it. New Bigging is up to fourth.
That's what happens sometimes.
It's been a long weekend. I've announced football, basketball. That's basketball and racing, and all these names and everything you got to keep in your head. And, you know, New Bigging there. So, and he's got kind of an interesting last name. I'm not even say that, Samuel. But Charles. I didn't mean to snap at you, Samuel. I'm sorry. It was the producer I was trying to yell at.
All the names, so many.
20 laps in, by the way, this time coming up. And Matthew Lee is still out in front. The prizes are phenomenal for this race, which include, here you go. You want your little Christmas countdown? On the first day of Christmas, da-da-da-da-da. Tonight, for the prizes, it includes 3 butt kickers, 3 octo wraps, 1 elite, 1 peg C, $500 for the Buddy Project random draw. And then the Alex Bowman die-cast car, $250 to the winner, $50 for second to third. Holiday schemes include $75 to the winner, $50 just to runner-up, $25 for third. And the grand total is $1,844.93. Holy cow, we're in the wrong business, Samuel.
Yeah, I might have to go get myself out of the booth and get back out on track one of these days and maybe go for one of these things.
And you, too, can become an iRacer. Oh.
Yeah, no, iRacing it's been amazing. I mean, for the longest time, when I first started broadcasting, I didn't have iRacing, I didn't have my account. And then after a few months of doing it, it's like, I want to get on track. I want to see what these drivers are feeling. And it is incredible to feel this trucks and the wind. And it's so crazy whenever you're listening to, real life broadcasts in NASCAR or any other sports in racing, when they talk about the dirty air or different vibrations or just all the nuances that come to racing. You hop on iRacing and everything they talk about, you feel, and it is incredible to get a taste of it. And you too can get a taste at iRacing.com. Get yourself a membership. You can race on a controller, and also if you want, you can get a wheel if you want to get a little bit more advanced. But I know some guys that are on controller, Wesley, that are just as good as some of the guys that are the best here on iRacing.
That's right. Just like he said, man. It is really cool. It is really fun. Glad you could be a part of it. Hey, get hush. It was
Producers going after Weston tonight. We're just having boy.
I don't have. I'm confession to make. I don't have iRacing. I've never had iRacing. I don't race iRacing. I tried to do something on R Factor on dirt one time, and I couldn't even get the damn car out of the pit lane. Okay, so it's like. So I just
you don't go full throttle immediately. Oh boy, Wesley, radio is getting busy. Drivers indicating pit road. Drivers are coming in, so better get ready. Drivers about to duck down this entry into pit road, and it's gonna get fanned out madness. Here we go, Wesley.
Man, you gotta love that camera angle. I love that one too. That's why I just kind of said, hush and hear the room. Listen to this one. Hush, listen. Look. Oh, watch out. You got a truck exiting the pits. Oh, and they gotta stay
and a lot of the
below
drivers that are coming to the pits.
Lid line, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers that are getting out of the pits are the ones from further back in the field. With all the drivers that are single filed out, that's an indication. When you see a lot of the pack that once was side-by-side go to single file, they're trying to get set up so they can go down to the inside lane and go to pit road. So drivers, a lot of communication going on. So pit road getting very busy, and drivers excited. And pit road, our leader, has just indicated he's coming in.
I had a feeling there was going to be around 20. Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. It's like a log jam on the interstate. Everybody's getting on the binders. And remember, you can't be speeding coming onto the pit lane either. Here comes a whole cavalry onto the pit lane. That was 20 trucks, and we got a caution. Oh, my goodness. We got a caution. These guys better not pit or they're going to get penalized.
It looks like Josh Bonwell going to be the driver that brought out the yellow for the 56. He was sideways, trying to get into pit road. Madness for themselves. Oh, no.
There's the reason of the caution, and by the way, it happened while they were trying to get onto the pit lane. 56 and 65. Not practicing social distancing. Josh Bonwell and Chase Pierce. My. They were all coming down to the pit lane, and I believe they just kind of got together here. Watch the replay. By the way, thanks to Polk's Poppers. Polk's Poppers Flying Fishing Lures is our instant replay sponsor. All right, look at this.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Oh.
He just got ran over.
Yeah. Oh. All right, Samuel. So the trucks that were on the pit lane, the time of caution, are they going to get penalized? I wouldn't think they would be because they were committed to coming to the pits before the caution came out.
Yeah, they were all the drivers that were coming in had already entered pit road when the yellow was thrown. So all the drivers that were in pit road not penalized, and because most of the drivers that are out on track currently most likely are going to be coming into pit road here in a few. So a lot of positions can be gained, but this is detrimental for the drivers that are 36 on back. David Mayberry, Eddie, also the 23 of Donahue, as well as Torrey Thomas, and plenty others behind. They're going to be trapped a lap down as we see drivers that are up front getting the indication coming to pit road. This is going to be your top 13 all coming in, and the question is, of the drivers that have already pitted, will they decide to come in and top off with fuel or just stay out there with a good track position?
Samuel, I don't want to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. I told you it was going to be just like this. We'd ride or drive, be good, been around 25 laps in, 30 laps in, trucks, oh, they're about to wreck in the pit lane. When they start making green flag pit stops, that's probably could be when we see a caution flag, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened the first quarter of the race here. Guys getting onto the pit lane, they're getting tight, they're getting antsy. You saw the log jam, you saw basically what happened in the back. That was an accident that brewed because of the big pileup of traffic coming down to the pit lane. So,
well, I mean, this was one of your 3 scenarios you threw out. You thought maybe there was going to be a lot of wrecks and only a 5-lap stint of green flag racing. You also thought maybe there was going to be a good long stint of green flag racing. There were a couple of thrown out situations, but one of them stuck, that is for sure. We got this long green flag situation, and it was green flag pit stops. That was the catalyst for this wreck, and we had a sensation that was going to be the issue, mainly because these drivers, a lot of them have not raced with one another in other leagues. For some of them, this is their first time racing with these drivers, so they don't know some of their tendencies, and just like that, in a blink of an eye, our first caution is thrown.
yeah, they're making left turns. Sit back, relax, come back 10 minutes later, and you're not going to miss the thing, because honestly, they're just knocking off laps to get the lap. Probably what, Samuel? Lap 90, 95? That's when it's going to start getting wild. And then there's 3 attempts at a green-white checker. And a quick statistic, all of the heat races and the B mains had to go in some shape or form through the green-white checker shootouts. Yes. Now, we ain't had 3 attempts. We've had 2 in the first heat and 1 in the second heat in the B main. Lights are off on the pace car. Samuel, let's give them the lineup real quickly as we get ready to go back to green flag. Your leader is Jeremiah Burke. Mike Adamson second. Dustin Real third. Andrew Navarro is fourth. Colton Zimmer fifth. Matthew Lee sixth. TJ Roberts seventh. Albert Anderson eighth. Parker Retzlaff ninth. And Jay Jensen, your top 10.
Then 11th, we're going to find that of Douglas Newbigging, as well as Jose Medina, as well as that of Dennis Mickelson, as well as Roland Meza in 14th, Chad Ross in 15th. That is Stephen Scott Jr., for 16th. 17th goes to Matthew Baker, and drivers right now still cycling through, coming out of pit road, so we'll wait for a quick second for everything to tone down. 18th going to be that of Jeffrey Ford, with Brett Murphy in 19th, and 20th going to be that of Tyler Mullity.
Lamb 21st, Edie. Ray Jock, Stanley, Lamb, top 25. Evans, McConnell, Pierce, Adamson, Cofield, and Baldwin, the top 30. Then it's going to be Thompson, Cinnamon, Wade, Sheets, Bonwell, Zimmerman, Miller. Followed by Donahue, Miller, Winnie Sturfer, Josh Charrett Hill, Mayberry, Clements, and Garrett. So there's your lineup unofficially right now. Top 4. And some are already off racetrack. It will be lap number 28 completed, working lap 29 when they come back to the Geico restart zone. And you got Santa Claus
pushing it again,
and the
another
Grinch. And they have waved off the restart. That's right. Hashtag fake news. We're going to go another lap under caution as the lights come back on the pace car. That pace car should have been getting the hell out of Dodge, and it's just last minute cut the lights on. It's like bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah, it was coming out of 4. Coming out of 4, race control recognized. Oh, there's still some people that need to come to pit road. Now, not everyone's in the right spot. All right, let's just add another lap on top of this.
Yeah. Samuel, we haven't done this in a while. Let's go on board with the man leading the field right now in the pace car. on a Sunday evening or a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, you are
the
so
pace car
mean.
driver. We haven't done this in a
You
while.
are- I get it. Our producer's been mean to
I
you, and
guess
you're
we're
going
not
to be
gonna
mean
do
to
it.
him.
We're not going to do it. I guess we're not going to do it.
It takes time. I will say this.
Look at
It
that.
takes time to get onto the pace car.
This is as close as we're going to get to the pace car, okay? Normally, we're inboard the cockpit. Okay.
This is
what
one of the
hell?
harder things to get on. The pace car is one of the hardest things to like get onto sometimes on iRacing, and you wanted us to get on board.
I did. Okay, that'll work right there. There you go. Look at this. This shows you how banked it is from the top of the roof. Is that coming off of one of the pilot lights? I think it is. Yeah,
It's like
there
right
you
next
go.
to the
Nice.
light.
All right, let's
They're
watch.
flying
You know
at
what I think?
80
though?
miles per hour.
You know what would be cool though? Hey Samuel, let's keep it at this angle. Well, you're not the director. I'm sorry, Charles. Let's keep it at this angle. Let's the pace car drop onto the pit lane. Let's watch the field of cars pulled away from the veer of the camera. This is going to be really cool. Watch this, people. Only from your leader and home of sim racing. Look at the pace car onto the pit lane, and watch the cars. Yeah, they will. They're going to fly by him here in a minute. Watch this. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Here they come. Vroom, vroom. Look at that.
Look at the tiny ants flying by.
What the hell
You
is
wanted
this?
your
The pace
ant
car
shot,
coming
you
back on
got
the
it.
racetrack? We're back underway. Well, I thought it was
A little
gonna
bit
be
of
cool. Never
shuffling.
mind.
Well, finally we get the 51 of Michael Adamson back out up front. He hasn't been up front since he won in the first 5 laps. Then he got spun around, and right now, finally, back to a comfort zone for the 51. Oh boy, they're wrecking.
Oh no, trouble. They're wrecking. Oh my goodness. Oh my. You're on the naughty list. Caution is out. Trouble. Wow. Yeah, he's making a list and making it twice. You're on the top. Watch this.
Well, we always
You
say
ever heard of the
short
old
tracks.
cliche cautions, precautions? We forgot about talking about that, Samuel.
Yeah, well, it's usually at short tracks you think about it. Super, we had our only caution of this featured race. Oh, they accordioned up. One bump, and there they go.
Oh my goodness, man.
Ooh,
Womp,
race. Well, Wesley, I'm gonna give you your opinion on this call. Race
I
control
don't want
gonna
no
be
opinion.
given that of Dale Adamson, an EOL penalty. We saw the incident. It was a lot of accordion checking up and misjudgment there, but because the 46 made contact when they were accordioning into one another, they're going to be giving the 46 an EOL penalty. He has to go all the way to the end of the line after that incident.
Is that Dale Adamson or Mike Adamson?
That's going to be
Here
Dale.
comes Navarro on the pit lane, by the way. Here comes everyone else coming in, too. Some of the front leaders are pitting. Boy, I about slipped up and said something else.
Well, we're gonna make sure we're having a holly jolly Christmas. That is for sure. As Navarro and others come in, that is gonna be Colton Zimmer and others coming into pit road, which just topping off with fuel because of the timing of this
I think that's
yellow.
a good strategy. Yeah.
It's gonna allow these
Oh,
drivers
Matt
to
Lee
get
overshot his
a
pit
little bit
stall.
past halfway.
Matt. Yeah, pineapple juice. You can smoke it. It's
Pineapple
is
juice
that
is
my
really
favorite
good.
truck up at the front? I don't think that's my favorite truck up at the front.
That was your favorite truck. That was the
No.
truck that you deemed as your favorite truck. That is your Grinch
Is that
machine.
the one I like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one.
You're a mean one. Look at that. Vengeance. He leads the way. It's a mixture of like the Grinch in Days of Thunder and the Mellow Yellow truck. Remember All right, they're telling me to shut up. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with more from Daytona, the Buttkicker 300. I got to go to break before the producer kicks my butt.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
So you see me on camera just promoting CRN. Now imagine me with a beard, mustache, hairs on my face. It's scary. What would Samuel do? Welcome back. I'm growing my winter's beard, Samuel. Okay? Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow.
Oh, boy.
No, that was let it go, let it go. I said let it grow in regards of let it snow. Green flag back out. Let's go to it again, by the way. Lap 33 of 100. And Mike Adamson leading the way. The Grinch that stole Daytona and the Buttkicker 300 out in front.
And right now, for that of Adamson, he is getting a lot of help from the 12. Albert Anderson also going to be helping out the 51. You'll love to see a driver behind you that you know from previous series or just allies or friends. And that's what Mike's seeing right now is drivers ducking it low, a couple of drivers further back. But here comes Burke in our only triple-digit truck, thinking about 3 wide, and now needs to get back in line. That's a dangerous spot, Wesley, coming out of 4.
Are you kidding me? Here they come. Back out of turn 4, back to the stripe. Adamson and Anderson, they'll hug the bottom of the racetrack and catfish on the inside through the tri-oval. Here comes Retzlaff, committed to RSS Racing for NASCAR Xfinity at Phoenix and NASCAR 2022 in March. Here he comes, moving up to 3rd. Robertson-Jensen battle. Working off 4 again to 2. There's that blend line cone we were talking about earlier. And Samuel, here they go again. One big pack of traffic, one wrong slip and up to a tailgate, and they're going around.
Yeah, and right now, I'm a little bit hesitant for that of Parker Retzlaff. We've seen the 0-2 of Jay Jensen. Jensen has been very wobbly and not been able to hold a straight line. That is one of the big factors you've seen drivers being pushed to the inside. When you're seeing a truck wobbling up and down that much, not able to hold a steady line, you do not feel comfortable when you have that driver, when you have them in front of you or pushing you, because if they come in not straight, give you a bump, they can spin you around in an instant, and these drivers got to be careful up front, as this could spell for the big one coming soon.
Yeah, we ain't had the big one yet. That could happen. In the matter of not if, but when. Into 3. By the way, so far, 2 caution flags in 35 laps of this race. Everybody trying to settle back down. I'm sure I'm sure Derek Fulton is in race control from the iReal series. Said, guys, settle down here. We're not even at halfway yet. Don't do anything crazy and tear your you-know-what up. Adamson, Retzlaff now up to second. Jensen third. Anderson, Newbegin into sixth. Roberts just got around him. Newbegin. I ruined his name again. I'm sorry, Newbegin. Here we go.
It's
Three
that,
wide.
It's the
Off
added
of
G
four.
that's just throwing you off.
It is. It is. I want to try to say new beginning, new bigging, new bigging, new beginning, new booging. Adamson to three inside as they work into the corner.
Oh no!
So,
Yellow
caution.
flags in a wave. Back of the back.
Oh,
It's a
jinxed
big
it.
one. It's a
I'm sorry.
parking lot in the entry of turn
there
3.
You go. Oh my goodness! Talk about scattered, smothered, and it's covered. Not only at Waffle House. Look at this. Oh my. Somebody's on the naughty list. What happened? We're keeping an eye
Immediately
on that
over
12.
the radio, 06 of Mark Miller came over the radio, said, "My fault. I take blame for that one." And you see,
Oh, no.
just
Look at this.
out of control up front.
And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm having trouble counting. Almost the entire back half of the field wrecked there. I believe that's Dale Adamson again that crashed in 46 as Daddy Mike leads. Well, typical Daytona, Samuel. What do you think? Everybody's kind of being a little impatient. They need to just kind of stop being aggressive. What?
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating to see. I mean, up front, you saw that things were getting aggressive, which is usual. You're seeing drivers that want to be up front, being the fastest car and being the lead driver. Usually that's where you see the aggression. But when you're seeing drivers that are back in 25th position, 30th position, being over aggressive, and some real drivers making some hesitant moves. Parker Retzlaff decided to stay out while other drivers come in. But, these aggressive moves here for the drivers further back, you're really not racing for much. We're not even at halfway. I don't understand why we're seeing these drivers go 3 wide and causing these wrecks so early on, but you're now forcing drivers to use their fast repairs, and this is a good way to get drivers to already be DQ'd with how much damage is being thrown out.
I'm thinking, wow, the leader's on the pit lane. Mike Adamson is in. Other trucks coming down. Samuel, one more pit stop maybe? About lap 70, possibly?
We saw
Maybe
a lot of
to the
drivers
finish?
coming. I mean, from here, these drivers aren't going to make it to the finish, but possibly
No.
one more stop after this should be good for a lot of these drivers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one more stop should be it. And for a lot of these drivers, around lap 72 would probably be the marker that they're trying to get to 70. But for our drivers that stayed out, or our top 5, they might have to turn this race into 2 more stops. But we even threw it out, Wesley. I think in the final 20 to 15 laps, we're going to see a lot more aggression and possibly even bigger wrecks being thrown down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of yellows that kind of take that fuel mileage aspect out the window, and we just see a lot more of carnage later on in this race.
J.G. Britt just commented in the chat box in regards to the big wreck in the back of the pack and said, yard sale, buy a fender, get 2 free. I'm liking that.
Well,
Somebody's going to win a butt kicker. 3 people are actually going to win butt kickers. And Samuel, me and you were talking about this with our producers in our production meeting. Yes, we have real production meetings before we go live, people. Big price drop from the winner to 2nd and 3rd. And that's going to be something I believe we're going to be watching to fight for the money as well.
Yeah, there was drivers. I was talking to some of the drivers even before they were getting prepared for practice, and some of them were saying, hey, there's a lot of rumblings because of how much money and get yourself a butt kicker. Some drivers might go out there and just wreck somebody to get a butt kicker as well as get some cash. That is what's on the line. And Wesley, you and I aren't, we've seen cash money races, and we've seen drivers get very aggressive at times when they see money is on the line. They're willing to do anything and everything to get that cash.
Here comes the money. Yeah, that's right. Fighting for that money. And so far, it's been a good one. We hope you've enjoyed coverage of the iReal Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland here with you. Charles Wooten and Jeff Stabnow, Rocket Media, LSRTV Productions, handling this broadcast. By the way, tomorrow night, John Muschin and myself on the call for the next round of the Trans Service Winter Blizzard Series Cup cars on the next gen cars, by the way. They moved around to several places last week. Last week, I think they ended up at Dover. They were supposed to be at Phoenix, then they went to Homestead. I think they ended up at Dover. And they waved off the restart, by the way.
We didn't know where we were going. As, the restarts waved. That was one of the more bizarre mornings because a day before, we were like, okay, Phoenix is where we're going. The morning of, it's like, oh, no, we're changing to Homestead. And then about 30 minutes before they started their practice, it got switched to Dover, and we weren't notified until we were already live. So it was a very odd scenario that happened that day.
Yeah, the Sim 500 League had Speedway Airlines. I mean, you just fly through the air and be from one part of the country to the next. And then, of course, that's Monday night. Tuesday night, we've got the Northwest Pro Late Model Series. I believe Nasra is in the 8:30 spot, I think. Nasra Trucks, am I right, Samuel? Don't you do that one on Tuesday?
No,
what's on Tuesday? Oh, my apologies. Nolan and John for Nasra. That's right. And then it's the Northwest Pro Late Model Series. Wednesday is the main sim racing series right now with Samuel.
This Wednesday is for the main sim racing series. Their schedule is very.
Charles doesn't think I looked at the schedule.
It changes a lot, so we will have to. We'll give you updates on Wednesday night on when the next main sim racing series race will be, as their weeks transition on when they are racing and when they're not.
Typically, what is it, Wednesday and Saturday night, something like that?
Wednesday's their regular season racing, and then Saturday is their big special events. It's more of like a once a month, sometimes 2 times a month for MSRS.
Gotcha.
They have their events.
And by the way, if you're a fan of endurance races, next Sunday, 6 hours coming up on LSRTV. And Samuel and Justin Prince will be on the call for that. We're back to green. 41 completed. We're on lap 42. We're not even halfway yet here in the Buttkicker 300. And on the bottom of the racetrack is Retzlaff. Jensen up there. Jensen, Lamb. Mickelson, the pole truck. He's right there. Got some ink and blinking nod on Molat. They work their way to the back straightaway. Samuel always get Nancy there. Jensen looking at the lead. He's attacked by Retzlaff on the bottom. He goes to the lead as they go to 3.
Yeah, and right now this is where we're going to see if Jensen's been working on that stabilization under the pace. He does, no, contact.
Jensen turns.
Hold on, but everyone else is gone.
My. Here you go again. One wrong slip. Calamity. Destruction. Chaos. One slip. And there's several trucks destroyed. Adamson and many more. My, Samuel. We knew it was happening.
Yeah, and it's one of those risky moves. Jensen tried to stay low and pinch, and it backfired very quickly, and everyone else piling in later on. The drivers even on the radio screaming out, slow down, hold off, as they knew it was helpless. Everyone, the whole entire track, just full of drivers and just calamity onto the apron.
Wow. Throw the entire concept of my idea of the race out the window. These guys want the money before halfway, Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you might as well throw it all out, as you picked the live action Grinch machine of Mike Adamson, and there is that of Dennis Mickelson, who
That's
I gotta
yours.
say, the 41, the classic Grinch. I love that scheme. It's such a clean Grinch scheme. But man, a lot of drivers upset over that incident, and we're going to be seeing that of, I believe, looking at it over, and Dustin Lamb, who was the car that was on the inside, second truck on the inside, given the EOL penalty, making the contact with Jensen there at the entry of the corner. And I got to say, I don't understand how Parker Retzlaff held on to that 47 truck and was able to still be in the lead. He got clipped and somehow held on and is our leader currently. I thought for sure we were going to see this 42 go up in smoke here and have to use a fast repair. But Wesley, this is why he's a professional at what he does. This is why he's on the top tier and he's on the move on the NASCAR realm.
That's right. From Rhinelander, Wisconsin, he'll be the man that will be riding for RSS Racing coming up in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Might be a cool idea to get Retzlaff on finish line Wednesday for our finale. Oh, well, never mind then. No. I mean, it's technically your network, right? I mean, come on, you producing stingy producer. It's
if you're gonna get Parker on, you got to make sure he's at least awake. I mean, that is your show is very early at times.
Hey, look at that. Okay, we're trying to go into prime time, but I just don't know if I have the. What was he's from Rhinelander, Wisconsin? It's only 1 hour time frame. I mean, we go live at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's 10 Central for him. Like Charles.
Yeah, it's
Texas.
not too bad.
Exactly. Not like 3 hours for you, California. And we've had dedicated people like Jeremy Dawson, Derek Thorne. Those guys got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we did. Michael Diaz. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna go there.
If I have to get up, I would have to wait for pre-show stuff. I'm thinking about next week. Next week, endurance racing.
I prep before we go live, so I prepare days in advance. I'll start prepping for finish line tomorrow. Tuesday morning, it's done. Then I just send everything to Charles, and he does all the magic. And that's what sucks the last couple of weeks. Charles kind of sick and out under the weather, and Wesley, you're back to your old days. Oh, I'm not used to running the board. I'm not used to doing the phone. Yeah. I've got to buy it, okay?
Oh no, we're getting our
year, Charles. I'm gonna buy my Christmas present. Our producers convinced me to buy a new mixer board, okay? Samuel, I'm gonna buy it. I told him late yesterday he was impatient.
Yeah, we're excited for new technology. New technology is always a fun thing to mess with, and we're excited for it.
And by the way, you see the Road to Pro on the front visor of his truck. He's one of those guys that competes in the iRacing Road to Pro, and that is to make it into the eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series. And the trucks are normally
he's made
there.
It to
Xfinity Series, basically, right? Yeah.
Oh, well, the trucks was for the Road to Pro, which Retzlaff has now gone into what's after that, which is the Contenders, which top 20 of the 40 drivers that are racing in Contenders gets to move on to race in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series next season. So Parker is doing everything he can to get to the next level in real-life racing, as well as become a pro driver, as we are green and already drivers get in line in that front row.
That was your Grinch truck, man. What the heck was he thinking?
No,
he went
found
from
an
the
opening,
outside
dropped
lane
down.
to the bottom. He surely did. Veered, if the word needs to be used, veered down into the inside lane. Anderson, Meza, Evans, Rajek of top 5. Here we go again. Samuel, is it a good idea to be stuck using your fast repair before halfway?
No, you don't want to use your fast repair at all during this race. That is just your safety net. You want to make sure that if you are going to use that fast repair, it's when your engine is blown up, and you don't want to make a mistake. When you've got racing here on iRacing, you've got your black box. that is in your lower right screen when you're racing, and you have to unclick your fast repair. Otherwise, if you have it clicked, you could accidentally use it when you already have a clean truck. So drivers constantly thinking and making sure they don't make any mistakes as we're side by side for the lead. And starting to see that surge from the outside. I think drivers want to figure out how to get by that of Parker Retzlaff that's leading on the inside groove.
Back straight away. They're coming up on halfway. Anderson on the outside. He got a little bump draft there from the tailgate. Behind the 93 overall, Meza. Meza holds his line. That Surf Pro entry drives up the racetrack. They're 3 wide. Anderson in the middle, the hot dog between the bun. Meeting the sandwich with a little help behind him. Back to the inside. Retzlaff single file, and away they go. Back to speed. We're closing in on halfway in the Buttkicker 300 as they cross the stripe. Going back to turn 1. Retzlaff to the bottom in the corner.
That's a giant scare. You don't want to be seeing these drivers up front being 3 wide just yet. Got to stay patient. Still have plenty of pit stops still to go, but you can tell the anticipation's starting to build up. Once we get past halfway, there's not going to be a lot of give going to be given to these drivers around. It's going to be all take, as here comes Anderson on the outside. A great move for himself, and he's got the 71 of that of Jason Raychuk, who's going to be one of those drivers to watch out for. The 71 coming in with a lot of speed and a great push for the 12 to get by Retzlaff.
Up the high banks, working through the tri-oval, off of turn number 4. Through the line. Oh my goodness, I thought they were going to stick it 3 wide for the top spot. He thought better of it. Back away. And new leader Anderson, by the way. He's only the 6th different leader of this race. Early on, it was Matthew Lee, and watching him now fall back. He got caught up in the accident. They're working themselves back up. Mickelson as well. 71 Raychuk now up to the lead. Anderson and Raychuk now battle. Retzlaff and Meza. Meza sideways there as they work through the corner. What a save there on the 93. Watch the green 93 as they work off turn 4.
Yeah, Raul Meza, one of those drivers, kind of similar to what we just saw from that of Jensen, who was very aggressive, wants to be making some big moves, but isn't completely steady at all times. When you got a driver that is constantly bobbling up and down and really is hesitating on if they should go 3 wide or not, you're concerned, because if you try to bump that driver and they make a weird jolt to the outside or inside, you can launch that truck either way and could cause another big one. These drivers just getting close to halfway. When they come across the line, it will be halfway for these drivers. Already seeing a lot of our front runners. Still, I mean, we've got some drivers up here that have already used their fast repair and do not want to see their race ended already.
Anderson, the man out in front. That's Albert Anderson, the 3rd in the number 12. He comes to us out of Stafford, Connecticut, in the Limitless Esports America's driver number 12, and he's the man out in front right now. Retzlaff in 2nd. And by the way, we're halfway home. Let's give you a rundown real quick.
Oh,
well, we got car trouble. Check that. 27 turned into the bottom of the apron. Caution will come out just after halfway. Yellow waves with 49 laps to go. Truck number 27 back straight away to the super stretch. And that was Jerry. Oh, man.
Actually,
was that
it's
the
27 on his truck, but it's the 50 on our ticker. That's going to be Tyler.
Exactly. Tyler
Millette.
Millette. Tyler
Yeah,
Millette.
Millette's going to be that driver.
I was looking at my paperwork real quick. I was thinking, Jerry Nadeau didn't make the race.
Well,
Shout
I think
out
half
to
these
Jerry
drivers
Nadeau for Connecticut making it.
Yeah, I think half these drivers that are out here just wasn't clear.
What in the world? You know, Samuel, I don't know they would throw a caution for that. I mean, he's out of the groove. He's actually on the Daytona road course at the bottom of the chicane. I don't...
Well, the reason is because we're having both that of iRacing cautions being thrown as well as admin cautions being thrown. That was an admin thrown caution for seeing the 27 being spun around there. So that's why we're seeing some of these cautions that are being thrown that are unsimilar to what we're used to when we're covering league races that are all based off of iRacing cautions being thrown. So for iRacing cautions, if there's a car that goes off the racing surface and spins around, no yellow will be thrown. But with having multiple, race control people out there watching and observing what's going on track, we're able to have these admin thrown cautions out here tonight.
Jackie's in. Enjoyed hanging out with her last night for 7 hours on the front porch. She is riding with Albert Anderson. That's her pick. Who are you riding with? We're halfway in the second half of the Buttkicker 300, but right now, pit stops. This might be the penultimate pit stop of the race. And the America's Dream number 12 is onto the pit lane, led by Albert Anderson and the rest of the cavalry. Samuel in front of you on lap 53.
Yeah, the big thing for a lot of these drivers is do not make a mistake here. If you've got some friends that you want to be around, maybe stay in pit road for a little bit longer. But a lot of just top and go going on for a lot of these drivers is coming in and just taking fuel was the majority of the field that came in. That's why we're seeing a lot of a shuffling of where drivers are up front.
And in doing so, this will re-rack them and restack them, and the lineup is definitely going to be shuffled here. We'll give them a few laps before we get them back in order, before we send you the full field rundown just after halfway. By the way, he's Samuel Dyer from California. I'm Wesley Outland from North Carolina. Our producer is LSRTV Productions and Rocket Media. Jeff Stabnow in Montana, Charles Wooten in Texas, and that is our producers and production, and somehow across America, we make it work, and we welcome you to our coverage. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you, and we thank you for joining us for the iReal sanctioned Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300. Almost $2,000 in person prize money, Samuel, up for grabs. And I got to say, big props to my friend out of Canada. I haven't heard from him in a while. I actually kind of thought he disappeared off the planet. Kind of stepped away. Real work got in the way, and I understand that. And good to see him doing something big here with this iRacing event. This is probably the biggest one he's ever had.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger ones, and it's been awesome to see, ever since the pandemic, seeing iRacing being funded a lot more, where people are taking iRacing a lot more serious, and the prize pools on a lot of events that have been coming out, even on the NASCAR Coca-Cola Series side, a lot more money is being tossed around and giving these drivers chances to, for some, make a living, and for others, get a good chunk of change to throughout the season, especially with it being right around the holidays. It's a great time to get a little bit of your holiday gifts and possibly a little bit of prize money for yourself.
Yeah, it's really cool that the holiday season is upon us, and you can have the opportunity to win some cool things. The Buttkickers are always really popular. We've heard about them for a number of years. Team Outlaw, Will Duvall is in the house. The one thumb wonder from, forgot he moved. He's not in West Virginia anymore. He's in Oregon.
I believe he's in
That's
Oregon.
right. He moved to Oregon. He moved to Oregon. He joined the Oregon Trail. he went from being a mountaineer to an Oregon Trail. Hello to everybody. John Bradley Pill, Team Outlaw. Hi, JG Britt. Everybody, greetings. We're ready for the restart here. 54 laps completed. We're working lap 55. And Samuel, 46 laps to go. It should be a wild second half of the Buttkicker 300 as the field will make their way back to the Geico restart zone. My friend, bring them to green.
Oh boy, we got 34 drivers on the lead lap, Wesley, and already up front, we're starting to see some drivers that, because of the way the pit cycle went through, we're seeing that adjacent, that of Ray Chop going to be up front in 71. But out of Albert Anderson, he's looking like the fast cat currently right now, but he's got that of, Andrew Navarro, and Navarro's got a lot of front-end damage, Wesley. That's going to be something to watch out for these next couple of laps.
Give them about a lap to get up to speed. Tailgate to tailgate, fender to fender, right alongside each other as they work up to the third turn. Anderson breaks away from the pack. Navarro on the outside, inside Rajic. Zimmer and New Bigging right there. Up, Samuel, here comes your buddy, Adamson. He's back up through there in the Grinch cartoon truck.
I mean, I gotta say, for a lot of these drivers starting to make their surge forward, I noted on this, as, oh boy, up front, gonna be a little bit three wide for action for the lead. Oh, I don't like that call from Navarro, especially with front end damage, Wesley. This 42 does not have the strength to really be a lead driver, but Parker Retzlaff and Matthew Lee forcing the issue. These three drivers, they're making it work on that outside lane.
All right, Will Duvall, that's too much TMI, laying in bed watching. Oh, Navarro up the racetrack, Anderson inside. Here comes Retzlaff with Rayjock. New Bigging now. Oh my! Look who's back up there again. Also Samuel, Matthew Lee from Clinton, Maine. He's back in the mix now in the 04.
Yeah, and for Parker Retzlaff, a great swap for him to be moving in front of that of Navarro. Navarro's that front end damage is going to be hindering that outside lane if he was the lead driver. Now they've got a truck that's got some speed, but also a little bit of shuffling as the 41. Dennis, that of Mickelson, going to be now leading the outside lane, and we'll see now the classic Grinch going to be on the outside row trying to make the surge. As Mickelson's doing a great job leading, everyone's trying to stay stable, and this is what I'm liking for the outside, Wesley. There's not a lot of bobbling going on. Everyone stays stable and in line on the outside.
Anderson, Mickelson, the pole truck, they're back up front again. Rajak, Retzlaff, Navarro. New Bigging, Adamson, and all down in the top 10, and there they are in that pack of 5 rows, door to door, like Noah leading the animals to the ark, or as we say in the Christmas season, the reindeer side by side leading Santa on his sleigh.
Oh no!
Contact. Anderson got into Adamson. They go up the racetrack, and Anderson will lose that spot. Is that Powski's got wingman by Retzlaff, and he's to the lead. But Anderson battles back. What a save on the bottom by the 12 there, Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like there was some contact that wasn't meant to be made, and it is honestly changing a lot of drivers on where they want to be placed currently. And I got to say, that is a big hit for that of Anderson again. And these drivers, they're not really placing themselves in safe places. We get past halfway, and everyone now just bouncing and rubbing off one another. I guess, Wesley, rubbing's racing even when they're going over 180 miles per hour.
Rubbin is racing. Look at them in that pack. Navarro, one wrong slip. He's got a hornet's nest behind him. Here comes the Snakes patch. Working up under Retzlaff now. Curb Records, Ponzi entry, 42 to the lead. The same sponsors on his real race car, on his iRacing machine, as he'll move up to RSS Racing in Phoenix in March in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We had former NASCAR winner of Atlanta, Jerry Nadeau from Danbury, Connecticut, run with us to try to attempt to make out of 51 entries this inaugural Buttkicker 300. And Samuel, we're down to 40 laps to go. Truck below the apron. He's out of harm's way. Retzlaff holding off the pack of wolves on his inside as they go to 3.
Yeah, and it's going to be that of Matthew Lee who's going to be leading that outside lane, and he's going to have that of Dale Adamson. Remember, the last time we talked about the 46 machine, he had gotten an EOL back at lap 30, and with that EOL, he had to go all the way to the end of the line when we had over 40 drivers still racing, and now he's up to 5th place.
And don't go anywhere. For y'all that have stayed since the beginning, it is now what we've all paid for, the finish. As we're 40 laps remaining, Matthew Lee and Mickelson, Samuel, right back up at the front again. My goodness, as Retzlaff leads the pack down the back straightaway. He's on the inside. Matthew Lee on the outside. He started this race second. Mickelson, the pole truck, by the way, back up to the top 6.
Yeah, I mean, these drivers up front
actually have led. Samuel, I was just thinking about it, buddy. All the trucks in the top 5 put Anderson back to 7th. They've all led in this race here in the opening 60 laps.
Yeah, they've led at some point, and right now it's a lot of shuffling of drivers right now, just bumping. And I think, yes, we're past halfway. We're getting to the later stages of this race, but there's still a lot of racing going on for these drivers. So you don't want to throw away your race in a blink of an eye. And I think that's what a lot of these drivers have to be keeping in mind for themselves. But that inside row, I'm watching the 41, that of Mickelson. He is really, whenever he gets any type of a bump or tries to bump the driver in front of him, he gets out of shape and almost comes and clips the rear quarter panel of the driver in front of him. And right now, that's Andrew Navarro, who already has some front-end damage. So I'm concerned for the third truck on the inside. Could be a driver to watch out for. And that of Jay Jensen back into the mix, the 0-2, who was involved in one of the bigger accidents early on, has already used the fast repair, and now going to be up in the top 10.
Parker Retzlaff, the man out in front. And mind you, some lap traffic in the mist. There you see him get the heck out of the way. He goes up top shelf. Have at it, boys. That's the 11. That's the lap machine. Lets that pack of wolves roar by him like he's the run of the litter. That was TJ Roberts. And they work the 3 down. Settle in for the home stretch. And watch them battle. Look at them come 2 by 2, 4, 5, 6 rows, 7 rows, 14. Like Noah leading the animals to the ark. Santa leading the reindeer on the sleigh. Down across the tri-oval in this Buttkicker 300. Samuel, when do you make your move? When do you try to make something happen here? Or do you just play possum right now?
Well, right now, I think it's still patience. These drivers still need to make a pit stop, and that's going to be one of the biggest factors for them. It's going to be close for a lot of these drivers for themselves, so fuel could be an issue for them to be watching out for. Again, we've got ourselves 37 more laps to go. Last time they pit was around 11 to 12 laps ago for most of these drivers, so they still need to make one more pit stop. The question is, when? And do you split this real stage in half for yourself, or do you push it all the way until you run out of fuel? That is going to be the key here for most of these drivers. If it was me, I would say pit early. Find yourself, 3 to 6 trucks that you feel comfortable with. Get into communication somehow. Get maybe someone who's being your spotter or someone who's being your crew chief, and let them talk around. Find some allies here quick. So you can come into pit road as they're still getting mixy up front. They got to be dangerous. But up front, this lead pack, Wesley, it is our top 21 that are in this lead pack.
Did you see Matt Lee get a push, a shove in the shorts from Retzlaff, and in the outside lane came Lee. And now Lee will power to the lead. Adamson up on his outside. Navarro, Retzlaff, all these black trucks in the pack. Look who's also there. New Bigging, Navarro, all back up there in the front. We're working lap 65 on lap 66 now, and yeah, the freight train stays nose to tail.
Yeah, and if you want a couple of other drivers that are coming back after being forced to the back with an EOL penalty, 4th truck on the outside, the 99, that's Dustin Lamb, number 10 on our ticker. But Lamb, one of the drivers, same as as we've seen some other drivers that we've seen drop to the back with an EOL penalty, but have found their way forward. Also, we're starting to see some of these drivers that are up here. Our front two, that of Matthew Lee, that of Dale Adamson, they've already used their fast repair. Same goes to the 0-2 of Jay Jensen. You got to be careful not to be caught up in the next big one, and you better hope that you stay green to the end and you're not going to get any more damage.
Two by two, working off 2 down the super stretch in a pack of 2. A lot of 2s in that sentence, but that's the reality right now here at Virtual Daytona. And Adamson now, your Grinch truck back to the lead. What would it mean, Samuel, for the young man out of Sanford, Florida, Mike Adamson's son, Dale Adamson, to win this race as they got fishtailed through the tri-oval? Hold on there. oh boy, that could have been calamity for Raging.
Yeah, and that was the 99 of Dustin Lamb. That was the driver that got for a little scared there. Holds on, but certainly a giant moment where we thought possibly a wreck was going to happen, but these drivers hold on. But Wesley, you can just get a little bit of that sense. Yes, every driver wants this win, but I feel like we might see another big one based on the way that we're seeing them jostling around.
I think of Rage a moment ago. He about got crashed. Great work by Lamb to back her down. He falls back down to the dozen spot in 12th. He's still in that pack, except he's on the outside. There you see him alongside now, trying to go 3 wide. Oh my goodness, why did he drift up in front of that truck in the back? Boy, oh boy.
Oh no,
look
there he
out.
goes.
That call,
Lamb and
that's
others.
Lamb. Lamb started that, guys. He literally calls that coming through the tri-oval out of 4, trying to go from veering left to right, and that's the end result right there. My goodness. Wow.
I believe
Not
we're
saying
going to
it's
see on this
intentional.
replay. It's one of those things. We saw this earlier where the drivers up front, they get jostled up, they accordion effect. As you take a look here at aerial coverage presented by LSRTV at livesimracing.com, you just see them right here. They're going to start accordion back, and then you're going to see Lamb back up, gets bumped from behind, takes that roll of Mesa, and others get collected as well.
Raul Meza, the 93 Surf Pro machine, he had a really good run going into the first half of this race. And again, not saying, can we go on board with the Lamb in the 99? It's the 10 on time and scoring. But and just see what his cockpit was like. Extended replay, by the way, from LSRTV Productions and Pulse Poppers. Watch this on board. And where do you go, Samuel? Watch this. Seriously. Are you all bound America, or are you home alone in the right lane?
I mean, he did everything right.
Look at that.
He slowed down. It's just there's nowhere for you to look and see in front of you, and you gotta kind of you're stuck. That's where all that accordion effect, the chain reaction, and for Lamb, he was the victim of being absolutely ran over when there was a lack of communication throughout the field.
That is just a mixture of what the product is that we're watching. Quick break. We'll take you to the finish. A 30-lap shootout from Daytona in the Buttkicker 300. We're back in a moment.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
That was my Joker smile, by the way. Welcome
You were getting your 80s film just freeze frame there, Wesley. You were just getting that freeze frame. You're just waiting for the scroll up.
Samuel, I have taken off my makeup. Let's see if you can take off yours. By the way, I grew a beard and a mustache in the process, too. Definitely scratching while I'm talking to you all people out there.
See, if you focus on it, it gets worse. You got to think of other things.
Take your mind off of it. So that's how they grow the beard so long on Duck Dynasty. That's how Santa Claus does it. Oh, my goodness. Welcome back. Oh, I think we're all hairy men now, right? Charles, you've got a beard, mustache. I know you do. You are shaving it? You want to be like Wesley anymore? I give up. I don't know. The Expendables, a white ball guy. Somebody look it up for us, okay?
Welcome to a one-sided conversation where Wesley and our producer are having their conversation.
He's actually coming out in the broadcast. I think he actually is queued up and mic'd up. Oh, well, never mind then. What are you doing? You're making me sound crazy.
We just love those one-sided conversations. We could always imagine what our producer is saying to you while we stay quiet in those moments.
What the hell is people saying to Wesley by himself? This guy's crazy. What is he doing? And by the way, it happens on broadcast all across America. You just don't hear them. By the way, pace cars, we're ready for the restart. 72 laps completed. Working lap 73. And here we go. We're back at it again. Buckle up and hold on tight because we're at the home stretch. We're settled in for the final quarter. Samuel, that's a nice way of saying it. 3 quarters in. This is the 4th quarter coming up in a few laps.
And it's going to be clutch time. Who can step in and who can stand up? And right now, it's going to be the 40 who's leading the way. Patrick McCall is going to be one of those drivers that we have not seen up front. And the reason why the 40 is in the lead currently is he stayed out while the rest of the field came into pit road.
Back straight away. Thanks again, by the way, to not only LSRTV Productions, but Derek Fulton for inviting us to be on the broadcast crew to call this event. I've known Derek for many, many years. We've done a lot of events together. If you remember back during the old Outlaw Super Late Model Series, swag days. Oh, did I see a truck get turned in the back of the pack?
Right now, there's nothing being shown.
Cool.
They're going to be saying clean and green for now. And there was no one that went slower or went down on speed. So I think we're still good.
By the way, we have trimmed half the field out, Samuel. We trimmed the fat, brother. We got 20 trucks left. That's it. 20 trucks.
Where are you getting only 20?
Process of
I still see
elimination.
34.
Well, oh, but never mind.
I don't know,
never mind. It's hashtag fake news.
You got to scroll down. Scroll down on your live timing.
I was looking. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 20 trucks are showing in unison on timing and scoring. Everyone else is out, and that's what I was looking at. So I was like, oh my God, they're all out. No, there's more trucks out there. We could definitely have the big collective and take out half the field. And I've seen it happen too, in real life and virtual races. We got 35 trucks left. They're trucks, by the way, Charles, not cars. 35 trucks left.
You know, we cover so many different series. It's bound to happen a couple of times.
Tomatoes, potatoes, radar, race car. Flip those words backwards in spelling and they still spell the same thing. Did you ever know that?
Yes, I did notice that. As drivers get a little bit nerve-wracking as right now up front drivers side by side racing. Middle of this pack though, battling around 17th. There was a quick scare of drivers that were just involved in our last incident, the 99 of Lamb and also Rule Mesa right next to one another for a quick second. They cleared things up, but up front still seen side by side with that of Adamson as well as Navarro and Lee, all still duking it around. But Navarro's got to be careful not to drift up too high because you've seen that happen multiple times here tonight, Wesley, of a driver that's second, truck in line, drift up just a little bit and take out one of those drivers on the higher line.
There goes Jack Skeleton in the the night before Christmas truck on the outside lane, driven by Sanford, Florida's Dale Adamson. young kid, recently getting involved in iRacing. His dad wanted to get him last year involved in the sport, get him a license. He's now possibly in the hunt to win the biggest win of his career. The native, the Floridian out of Sanford. To the inside, you got Clinton Main and Matthew Lee. Navarro in that 42 machine. Also there, within a cat's whisker of him. As the rest of the field works their way. Andrew Navarro again by Miami, Florida. Florida being well represented, by the way, Samuel, in the top 3 right now. Redslap from Wisconsin. Jensen in the top 5 from Conway, South Carolina.
Wasn't sure if you were going through a more list, so you're still searching for where they're all at, Wesley.
Trouble.
Oh no,
Look
they're
out,
wrecking
trouble.
the back, middle of the field.
Oh,
Big
no.
one strikes again.
Now, I wouldn't call that big, but it made no sense.
There was a car flipping for a quick second. 39 went for
And
a
guess
little
who
bit
it
of a
is?
ride for
The
himself.
27. The 27 on scoring as the 50, I believe, yes it is. Tyler Maletti. Tyler Maletti caught up in it. Some other people, Chummy Miller involved. Oh, wow.
And here it comes, right through the tri-oval. Right when the truck is at its loosest, and just contact going to be made in the middle, and they pile in.
Oh, well, it might have been worse than it turned out to be. Look at that. No.
And there he goes.
Oh, hell. Oh, wow. Was that the 33?
That was the 39. Dustin Real, I believe
39.
that was 39.
Let's ride on board with him. 39 of Dustin Real. Dustin Real on board. Watch this. Listen. And through the
And you
triangle.
can't see anything past the truck in front of you. You're just blind at this point, trusting everything that's in front of you. And
Look out.
if you see a puff of smoke, and there you go, you see cars go low, you try to slow down, and then you're at the mercy of where the momentum carries you.
And this is what made him get airborne. That little shot from the back of the tailgate of the 27 made him get airborne.
It just, you get the rear end, just gets the tires revved up, and just pops you up in the air.
Yeah. It's just a product of the beast.
Well, Wesley, we're now about to be 80% done of this race. We're going to be less than 20 laps to go, and we go green once again. Matthew Lee
Possibly
up
more
front.
than that.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of drivers, big movers, starting to move forward. Matthew Lee up 1 position where he started in second. Then in second, you got that of Dale Adamson up 27 positions when he started in
Money
29th.
stop.
And here comes the mind games into pit road.
Not only is it mind games, Samuel, it's the money stop for many of these guys working 20 to the finish. One thing you got to take into account, if we do go into overtime, would this pit stop get them through 3 attempts at a green-white checker? I would think not. They don't even take on tires. It's fuel only for all of those trucks that just came off of the pit line, Samuel. It's not about tires, it's fuel.
Yeah, that's the big thing for a lot of these drivers, and they should be able to at least make it, to the end of this race, like I said, in regulation, and then at least 1, possibly 2 attempts. It's that 3rd attempt for the drivers that are coming into pit road right now that would be questionable on if they can make it on fuel to that point. So for Dale Adamson, though, as well as Dustin Lamb, both did not come into pit road this go around. So they're going to be still a little bit questionable on fuel, but they're hoping that they're going to be able to save enough under pacing to be able to make it to the end. But more drivers going to be calling it a DNF for tonight. Again, we noted on it that there were about 35 drivers still out there on track, only 34 on the lead lap. Well, now with everyone that's coming into pit road and all the damage repairs that are going to be given, we might be left with about 29 left on the lead lap. Looks like that of Brian Eady is going to be one of the most recent drivers that is going to be calling it a night, as the 50 of Tyler Maletti going to be the next driver who is still in pit road getting service done. Then the 69 as well as the 44 all called it a night earlier in the race about 40 laps ago. But we are now left with drivers running on track. I believe we have about 32 drivers still on course.
And the lights will go off on the pace car this time by. Thank you, John Bradley Pill. Thank you, Keith Bradley. Thanks for everybody for joining us. Man, what a great turnout of people watching. And again, as I said, if you've not done it yet, close that live chat, hit that share button, and share it. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at LSRTV. iReal on Facebook as well. Join us. We've got some great things planned. 2022 is going to be a big one. Of course, me and Samuel normally do the Northwest iRacing Series. We do other events. We got the Sim 500 League coming. NASCAR's back. Main Sim Racing Association. Some other specials, just like tonight. 6 hours of, is that Daytona you're at next week? Is that 6 hours?
That's Talladega. Talladega. It's going to be the Xfinity cars for
okay.
6 hours.
Wow. You and Justin Prince and Samuel will be on the call for that one next Sunday. I might pop in and just say hello. I know I'm not working it,
It's
but
a
I just
morning
might
one.
just come in and say howdy to y'all, you know?
It's going to be one of those, who's going to show up and hang out with Justin and I. It's going to be a fun one, 6 hours. It is going to be very early for me because the race starts, I believe, at either at 9 or 9:30.
Wow. So it's what? Yeah, I was going to say, we've done races that started at 7 a.m. What time is the race starting?
It's 9 or 9:30 a.m. Eastern, I believe. So it's going to be like 6 or 6:30
Well, hell,
for
that's
me.
still 6:30
I gotta
in the
relook at
morning for you.
schedule.
Holy cow.
It's going to be an early one.
Me and Charles have done 6-hour broadcast endurance races where we started at 7 a.m. Eastern. That's 4 o'clock California time for y'all. Wow. Well, yeah, exactly. He was barely awake. He had to have coffee. I never had nothing but a 2-liter bottle of.
Oh,
we got
boy,
wrecks.
they're already wrecking.
They're crashing. Again, we are racing again, and we are wrecking again. Look at this. And it's the same truck that got up airborne earlier. Remember him? And that's Raul Meza. Raul Meza's involved. Oh, my
It just looks like a lot of drivers all stacked up.
Wow. Dustin Reel. That was Dustin Reel, by the way, Samuel, that was involved in that accident again. Watch this. This is coming back to green. Who's the culprit? Who started this? It started up ahead, yeah. Oh, my. Well, there's Reel. There's Reel. That's what I said. I knew he was involved in it. He's the one, Samuel, that just got involved in that accident where he got airborne a moment ago.
And we're still getting the for sure on who was where. Believe it might have been.
Yeah, they're back at it again, and they're crashing again. Watch this. The blimp should be the eye in the sky. Oh, there it goes. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, well.
Yeah. It's not good.
Samuel, 18 to go. Do you pit if you pitted a few moments ago to top off the tanks again?
I mean, if you're maybe, Dale Adamson or Dustin Lamb maybe come in just because they stayed out, but because there's more pacing laps, they're not going to be completely forced to come in. They're able to save a little bit more fuel, and everyone else that had pitted previously, they're saving enough fuel just to hope that they can, if we go into our third attempt at overtime, to have enough fuel for that. So for most of these drivers, they're good on fuel to make it. It's more so on damage. How much damage did the drivers have further back that had already used their fast repair, and who can survive on that? Because it's starting to look now, there's more drivers that have already used their fast repair than those that still have one. And that safety net is so needed, especially with the laps ticking away, because Wesley, we look back at our heat races and our last chance qualifier race. All three of those races were all 10-lap stints. Well, I think we're going to be getting a very similar race ending here of drivers running on top of one another, because instead of just racing for an attempt at cash, you are now racing for it. Prizes on the line. You want to get up front That means bold moves, aggressive moves, and race-ending moves possibly here coming into these final couple of laps.
And for the young man out of Sanford, Florida, Samuel, what would it mean for young Dale Adamson to win this race?
Well, I know for Dale, he was imagining before practice, I was talking to Dale as well as for Mike Adamson, Dale's dad, and they were talking about, the potential of coming to the end of this race. What would their mentalities be? They were both hoping to be 1 and 2 at the end of this thing, and there were talks and jokes. Dale was saying, hey, if it was me and my dad battling for the lead, I might just have to wreck my dad to get the victory. And now Dale's got his competitors, very hard-hitting competitors. I mean, we've seen Matthew Lee, Ryan Navarro been very aggressive up front. Also, Newbigging has been up front showing a lot of speed. We've seen, Jay Jensen been trying to get a better reputation throughout this race. And these drivers all up front, they're trying to make sure that they're placed in the best scenario to have the best chance to win or just finish in the top 3 for themselves. For some, they want the butt kicker game or 2. For others, they want the cash, and it's all on the line here. Coming to 15 laps to go when we go green again, Wesley.
Raul Meza will take the wave around in the Serve Pro Green 39. He'll power and scamper from the leader behind the pace car. Field on the Daytona Super Stretch. Let's give it up to you now. Let's give you your top 20 before they come back to the green flag of the Geico restart zone. 17 laps to go, mind you, or 16 to go, 15 laps to go when they take the green. My apologies. Here we go. Dale Adamson leads up 28 spots where he started the race in 29th. Matthew Lee is second where he started on the outside front row. Dustin Lamb up 11 in third. Back 3, Andrew Navarro in fourth. Doug Newbigging in the 5th position. Jay Jensen up 18 spots, followed by Jason Rayjock in 7th. Parker Retzlaff up 3 spots in 8th for where he started, up 19 spots where he started. In 9th is a 96 of Jeffrey Ford. And Jose Medina up 14 spots in position number 10. Lights are off on the pace car. Settle yourselves in, boys and girls, and a Merry Christmas to you all. Who's going to win the Holiday Classic Buttkicker 300 here at the virtual World Center of Racing? Pace car drops onto the pit lane. He makes a left turn, Rachel. Green back in the air. We're back underway. 15 to go at the World Center of Racing. And it is young Dale Adamson looking for an historic win as he sets him off into orbit to 1, but Matthew Lee on the outside.
Yeah, and up front, we're going to keep our eyes on those front 5. Where do they want to place themselves? We've seen Dustin Lamb go backwards and forwards so many times throughout the race, but we also got to keep in mind Parker Retzlaff going to be the 4th truck on the outside. When will he make the move as Lee drops down into Dale? And right back, deja vu to the way we were seeing the first 20 laps of this race, Wesley. It's Lee, Navarro leading on the top side and the bottom side.
It might be the way it started, but I don't think this is the way it's going to finish. It's all about the money now. It's coming down to the shootout. There's no points. There's not a series drive. There's not next week. It's to win big bragging rights tonight. Buttkicker 300, 14 to go. When next the line, they're back to turn 1. Navarro outside, Lee inside, Jensen up the racetrack, Retzlaff 3 wide behind them as they work their way off of 2.
It was Parker Retzlaff. He forced it 3 wide. We're now 3 wide. We've been waiting for this moment, Wesley. 14 to go. 3 wide, 4 cars deep, and they are bouncing off one another. This is going to be dangerous up front.
I said it before, but I'll say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a race, and this is what it's all about. Now there are 3 by 3. You got monkeys in the middle. There's a slam and a bam and a thank you, bam, and we got a car turn. Truck around 09 Zimmer, and just like that you see him going 3 by 3 by 3, and one wrong slip and calamity and trucks are wrecked, Samuel Dyer, with 13 to go.
I mean, you look at the drivers that are up front, the caliber of drivers. You've got Navarro, Lee, that of Parker Retzlaff. You know that they can hold it 3 wide. But it's when you put some of the drivers that probably aren't as experienced back here in this scenario, just one fell swoop, and you're going to be seeing these drivers go away. Watch out for the bottom, Lamb, 99. Gonna be right close to one another, and just wasn't enough space for these drivers, and contact is made, and more drivers going to be tacked on top.
Man, oh man, oh man. And you know what, Samuel? It ain't over yet. They're going to drop the green rag again, and they're going to go 3x3 and 4x4, maybe 5x5, because it's down to the stretch.
Well, with the timing of this yellow, these drivers are going to be less than 10 laps to go when we go green again, which is going to give them another opportunity to go a couple of laps, and then if another yellow waves, we'll still be in regulation time. But Wesley, the way that we're seeing the intensity build up, as it looks like a driver engine going to be blown. Taking a look at who that driver might be, but it was one of the drivers that were further back, it looks like. But that's going to be one of the bigger things for a lot of these drivers. Is I noted on it, most of the drivers out here have already used their fast repair. The damage they tack on, it's going to be putting them in danger of blowing up and having engine temp issues. We're starting to see it come in now, where drivers might be being forced into calling their races a day.
And you think of a guy like Albert Anderson, by the way, and he was at the front of the pack, and now he's one of the guys in the top 20 fighting back. You got trucks on the pit lane, including Zimmer, who caused that accident, man. And I take that back. I don't want to say that Zimmer was the cause of the caution, because you're in a pack, Samuel, where you're 3 and 4 wide. And listen, we see this product in real life. I saw it at Daytona last year in the 500, but Michael McDowell won. We see it here in iRacing all the time. When you're bunched up in a pack and you're 3x3, 4x4, if you make a mental error, and that's even in iRacing, you twitch your fist, or you move your hand, or you move to scratch your head, or you move and make one wrong slip, and bam, you're out. You're out of it. And a mental error, and the mental error can also come from just a bump draft, Samuel, being hit the wrong way, being bump drafted, hit on the side. You saw what happened to Zimmer. It looked like he took a shot to the right rear, and then his truck just turned into the pack. And
yeah,
again, we're down to the end of this thing. It's all about who wants to be at the front to win this money, and the butt kicker and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, the mental fortitude certainly is starting to kick in for these drivers on who is going to be keeping themselves mentally prepared and also physically prepared. I mean, these drivers have been green for, they've been racing on track for this 100-lap event for the past, an hour and 40 minutes. They've been going constantly, and for most of this race under pacing. But we've also seen a lot of green flag racing being side by side, constantly focusing, and then you get put jammed up into these 3 wide moments where you haven't been in these spots at all during this race, and you're being basically forced into driving your perfect race, perfect line, and you're asking for 20 other drivers to do the same thing. At some point, it's going to falter, and someone's going to slip up, and it's going to cause a big wreck. And here, coming to 10 laps to go when we go green, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another wreck come out and put us into overtime.
Yeah. And understanding that 4th place, Rajic, 6th place, lap place, Lamb have fast repairs available down the stretch. That's a good thing. By the way, some other people in the chat box said keep an eye on the number 2 with Ted Wade, up 25 spots. Also up 25 spots, Chris Cinnamon in 14th. Ready for the lights to be off on the pace car. See, we interact with our watchers, our viewers, our listeners. We do, yes. And thank
that's
you.
That's what makes this online so much fun.
It certainly is, Samuel. He's in California. I'm in North Carolina. He's Samuel Dyer. I'm Wesley Outland. Montana, Rocket Media, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten in the production chair for LSRTV Productions in Texas. And we wish you and yours a Merry Christmas and a blissful, successful, prosperous, Happy New Year in 2022. It's amazing how fast the year has gone by. Back to green. 10-lap shootout. By the way, 3 attempts at a GWC up for, and they're back at it again. Matt Lee, Look at them. Look at them already, Samuel. Bump drafting just that fast. And it's the draft and it's the air that's also causing it as they hit the super stretch out of 2.
Yeah, you're looking at the drivers that are all still left on the lead lap. Our top 28 going to be on the lead lap currently. And there's only about maybe 10 to 12 drivers in our top 28 that still have a fast repair left for themselves. Of the drivers that are in our top 3, none of them. It's going to be the 71 on second truck on the outside that's got the first fast repair. So one mistake could be costly. We're already starting to see some drivers, 5th row back, deciding to possibly go 3 wide here, Wesley. And now coming to 9 laps to go, we're in practically our heat racing stages where drivers were getting antsy, aggressive. Well, it's all on the line. Money, prizes. You got to make sure you're up in the top 3 if you want any of it.
Lee back out in front, 9 to go. Pack of wolves behind them, 2 by 2 by 2. There's a snake's patch behind them, and that second pack brewing. Working their way to 3. Up the outside, Navarro now. Boy, did you see that, Bob? That wiggle, that jiggle. Holy cow. Here comes Jensen. Here comes Adamson up the racetrack. Went Retzlaff. He'll hold it together. We're 8 to go at the stripe.
Oh, over the radio, public to everyone, Parker Retzlaff telling the 71 of Jason that a Raycheck gotta get moving. We gotta go. That's why you saw the little bit of a bobble from Navarro, the 71 giving a bump, trying to give it a little bit of a scare. Well, get ready. They're going to be making some big moves here in just about a lap or 2.
Roberts in the 11 was about the dirt tracking in the back of pack 1 behind the 65 of Pierce. They hold it together. And look at Roberts now driving to the bottom of the lane. All of this craziness going on. Down the stretch they come. 3 wide again. Retzlaff, he got hit. He got hit. They turned each other. They're wrecking. Retzlaff is wrecking. They're all wrecking. Oh, my goodness. Roberts is wrecked. 71 turned around. Another one. We knew it was going to happen. Oh, my goodness. Jackie Zane, you were asking me about Albert Anderson. He's wrecked again. Raul Meza again wrecked. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
And for Parker Retzlaff,
we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Parker Retzlaff even said it, came over the radio, said, hey, let's get going. 2 laps before this, did not make the move. Was that of Raychuk, and he then moved up. Parker Retzlaff made the move, got bumped by Lamb, and then it all just came tumbling down in a blink of an eye. Will say, though, for the 71, as well for that of the 42 of Parker Retzlaff, both still had fast repairs, but you look at the long list of drivers that were also involved in that. That could be race ending for a majority of them. 7 laps to go. The timing of this caution was 8 laps to go. We could be seeing a 3-lap shootout at the end, possibly inside of regulation, green, white checker.
I was going to say that. I'm saying we're possibly might be able to get this race going again before the end. Well, that's not helping matters. And we got a truck stalled in the bottom of the apron, whatever the heck he's doing. I don't know. He ain't moved since the wreck happened. I guess he's waiting on the tow vacation. Cue up the Sanford and Son thing. And here comes trucks on the pit lane. Oh, my goodness. Anyhow. Yes, sir. Yes. You're making me sound crazy again, producer. Don't do that. What? Oh, it is. By the way, morning to you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. For me, yeah, it's after midnight. We're going to let it all hang out, which is a statement of figure of speech, not a statement of fact, okay?
Oh, man.
12:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in North Carolina. 11:06 in the LSRTV production studios of the guy that's making me sound like I'm crazy. You don't hear his voice, but we do. And it is 9:07 p.m. Pacific Time where Samuel is.
Yeah, the night's still young over where I'm at. You guys are, yeah.
The night is still young. Yeah.
Wesley, we got a lot of drivers that are still heavily damaged. They're just hoping to make it to the end. I do want to give huge props to the 8 truck Josh is in
Look at
ninth place
Matthew Lee.
currently. Yeah, Matthew Lee is up there, but the 8 truck, who's in ninth place currently, got the final spot in our LCQ in ninth place, is damaged, hoping to just survive the rest of the night. But big kudos to Josh for still being out there on track. Started in last place, up 34 positions, and up in the top 10.
Matthew Lee is what I was talking about, Samuel. Talking about the fact that he is driving below the apron of the racetrack. Watching the 0-4, he had a couple other guys mimicking him as well. Navarro's following him. 1 to go, by the way. They're going to try to get this race back underway in the regular scheduled distance. That's going to happen, though. I think we're going to overtime. I'm just calling my shot like Babe Ruth did. Thank you, 7 Seas Events. You guys are doing a great job of the broadcast booth. I appreciate it.
Also, updates for drivers further back. Parker Retzlaff did have a fast repair left, but could not get to his pit box as his engine had blown up. Had to take a tow to pit road. Currently 3 laps down and still has not been able to move off of pit road. Parker Retzlaff's day is done.
Oh, wow. Well, that's heartbreak. What a tough Brightlander, Wisconsin. And Parker Retzlaff on the road to pro. He's also running the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2022 at Phoenix with RSS Racing. All right, lights are off on the pace car. Or as my friend Jackie just said, I'm going to go with the pace car, the Popo car, looking for the 500, Wesley. Well, the pace car is definitely got better looking than these other trucks have right now. I think in some shape or form, every truck on the racetrack has been beaten, battered, banged, bruised, and bandaged somehow, some way, Samuel. So she's riding with the pace car. She's going with the Popo car.
Well, that's a safe pick.
Yes, it is. Overtime. Will we see overtime, or do we try to get this to the finish? 5 laps to go with a Buttkicker 300. Field through the Geico restart zone. Back to speed. Turn 1. Navarro. Bonsai move from the outside to the inside. Lee to the bottom as well. He'll take Murphy up the bait. Well, nope, they stay to the inside. Here we go. We're 2x2 again off 2. Navarro got hung out to dry, Samuel.
Well, the big thing is Navarro was expecting that whole entire outside line to be helping him, but because of everyone being so damaged, there really wasn't an outside line to work with the 42. And now we're going to be seeing some new contenders we haven't talked about all night long. Brett Murphy in the 64, the 3 of Chris Cinnamon, Colton Zimmer, who was involved in the wreck earlier on, now going to be up front in the top 10, challenging him with a chance to steal away a win here tonight.
To the line, through the tri-oval, it is 3 laps to go. Overtime needed for 3 attempts, but right now they're on the scheduled distance. Lap 98 on the board, down to turn 1 and 2. 2x2x2, 5 rows deep. Inside lead, Navarro outside, and they're at full speed under the pace car as they work out of turn 2 trouble.
No.
Turning into the wall,
My
flying through the air is Evans. Wow.
He's gone.
Did you
He's
see
to the
Evans
moon.
fly through the air? The 71 also got hit. Ray Jack involved, but did you see the hang time that Evans had in 17? Wow. And we're going to overtime, mind you.
Well, he saw the moon. He also saw it's going to overtime. Tyler Evans, what a launch. I mean, if you ever wondered how quick SpaceX ever got to space, you're going to see here. This is aggressive for the 17, and he's gone in an instant. There he goes.
Wow. you know, I got to say this. I've announced iRacing a long time in my second tenure now.
Oh,
that
no.
is probably,
No, you're not
Samuel,
doing it. Producer.
To
everyone out there, if you've got motion sickness, close your eyes when we hit the backstretch, because we're about to be seeing the 17 go flipping and twirling and up into the sky. So, hey, you better get your motion sickness medicine on now, because we're on gyrocam.
Watch
it's about to
this.
get hectic.
I believe I can fly. Cue it up. Watch this and listen.
Oh, no. Oh no! The gyro cam doesn't know what to do.
It was like,
But he landed it. You
like
know,
he was,
I gotta.
it's like he
That's
was
a
on a
10.
bull riding for 7 seconds.
Hey, yeah, that's a 10 for the landing. Like, that was an instant just land, no bouncing. It just was a stable landing. Incredible.
That was pirouettes and triple salts and somersaults and ocean salts and everything else you can think of.
Oh, man. Well,
Oh my!
at one moment I said we had 28 drivers on the lead lap.
And
We're
reset,
down to 20.
please, 'cause oh, wow. Overtime is coming up. By the way, Jack says the pace car wins. We're going to see it overtime when we return from Daytona Buttkicker 300.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, it's Wesley Outlet on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network, at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Unless I'm Evans. We're ready, back. That was for you, Keith Bradley. Welcome back. That was about Frank Sinatra. Lights are off for the pace car. Samuel Dyer. I'm Wesley Outlet. Oh my goodness. This has been a good one, Samuel. I have to say, I've enjoyed this Buttkicker 300. And it's not over yet. We go to overtime.
We're 100 laps down. Already regulation is done. We're in overtime. First attempt at a green-white checkered here. And looking at the field, we only had about 8 drivers that were in line that looked like they were fast enough to be racing for a win. It's now dwindled down to possibly now 7 to 6. So we'll see who can survive here as we're getting ready to go.
Out of a 43 truck field, as Samuel reiterated on, maybe 7 trucks have a shot to win. Samuel, everybody in the pack, somehow, shape, or form, has been damaged in some way. Here we go. Pace car is in. Overtime attempt number 1. If they take the white, race is official. If they don't, they get 2 more shots at it. On the third time, if they take the green and they wreck before the white, we'll base results by the scoring loop of the way they cross the line, and the race is official. Here we go. Overtime 1. Look at these 8 trucks pulling away quickly, making it 2 packs. And Matthew, Lee, and Navarro send it off into turn 1.
Right now, you need to get more trucks to the outside. Work with the 3 of Chris Cinnamon. If you can get behind the 3 machine, you might be able to challenge. But if Navarro, as well as Matthew Lee, stay as your front 2 currently, they're going to just steal this win away. You got to be helping out the 3 machine now.
They will come to 3. This could possibly lead us to the CRN 1 to go in the finish. We get a caution before they cross the line. We go to overtime attempt 2. Right now, they all hold their line. They all play nice through the tri-oval. Matthew Lee inside. CRN 1 to go. White flag. Race is official. Wreckers or checkers at Daytona. Samuel, turn 1 for the final time of the Buttkicker 300. And Lee and Navarro, just like it started in the side-by-side battle.
And they're wrecking behind in that second pack, but where did he come from? Ted Wade in the 2, gonna be in 8th position. He's gonna be on the back bumper of that is Cinnamon. And honestly, it's gonna be all down to these 8 drivers who can force it 3 wide or get underneath that of the lead.
The Elite 8, the Fast 8, down to the inside. Jensen gives a chrome horn to the back of the tailgate of the machine of Matthew Lee. Bouncing off the racetrack is Zimmer. They're spinning. Zimmer crashes. Rameza crashes again. They're all wrecking through that. 3 trucks survive. Matthew Lee inside. They're wrecking. It's hitting the wall hard. Was the machine of Jensen. And Matt Lee's going to win the Buttkicker 300 at Daytona. Matt Lee, Jensen, Navarro, 1, 2, and 3, wrecking at the race finish. Wow. Matt Lee from Clinton, Maine, wins the Buttkicker 300. What a wild one tonight at Daytona.
Matt Lee, by 0.05 of a second, beats out that of Jay Jensen, and by 58 thousandths of a second, beats out that of Andrew Navarro. Navarro did everything in his power to try to get Lee loose, to balance into Jensen. It wasn't enough. Lee holds on, and gosh, what a finish. But there was only about 5 trucks that were able to actually cross the line. Everyone else wrecked behind them, either on the back stretch or coming out of turn number 4.
It was literally like the process of elimination. We had 8 trucks, 2 by 2, 4 rows deep, going to 3. And it was like ping pong balls, eliminating themselves one by one. And when it's all said and done, Matthew Lee will probably credit himself with the biggest win of his racing career tonight at Daytona, winning the Buttkicker 300 Holiday Classic here. Boy, oh boy, what comes with it, Samuel? Of course, the prizes includes $250 cash. In addition to that, he gets a Buttkicker. He gets an Octawrap.com wrap job for free. Elite Performance Media Industries package. Peg PC. He also gets the $500. Oh, that's a random draw. My apologies. $250, and he possibly, boy, how much is that in value? He just pocketed maybe close to $750, $800 in prizes and money.
Pretty close.
What a payday!
Yeah, pretty close to that amount, and there's still even more out there that could be gained, but wow, what a finish. Over 2 hours of racing on our featured race. I gotta say, coming down to the end, you didn't really know who was going to get it done. But Wesley,
wow.
It was Matthew Lee and Andrew Navarro. I noted on it, they were going to be the front 2 that you had to get by. And Jay Jensen was the only one that was able to slip by, give a little bit more contact, and get himself in a position to possibly win, but came up shy.
Matthew Lee getting it done. My pick, Jay Jensen, falling back to 2nd. Unofficial results, Navarro will settle for 3rd. Jeremiah Burke, what a good run for him. He's in 4th. Chris Cinnamon, by the way, had to go through a B main to make the race. He's in 5th. Ted Wade 6th. Michael Adamson 7th. What a comeback for him. Albert Anderson, Jackie's pick, by the way. Jackie, he finished 8th. 9th to Stephen Scott Jr. Torrey Thompson Samuel, 10 seconds back in the top 10.
Yeah, and then last driver to get into this race off the LCQ is going to be Josh Terra Hill. Going to be getting 11th, with that of Dale Adamson going to get 12th. 13th goes to that of Jeffrey Ford, with that of Brett Murphy going to be getting 14th. 15th goes to Dennis Mickelson. Matthew Baker going to be getting 16th. Devin Sheets going to get 17th. 18th goes to that of Jason, that of Ray Chalk, and then you've also got that of Zimmer and Lamb finishing out your top 20.
21st, Destin Lamb, Tyler Evans. Boy, oh boy, that is the the Goodies Headache Powders of the Race award going to him. Remember that back in the day? The 23rd spot to David Mayberry. Chase Pierce, 24th. Dustin Reel, 25th. They're all multiple laps down behind top 24. Then it's Raul Meza, 27. Chad Ross, 28th. Derek Stanley, TJ Roberts, top 30. And Samuel will bring you the rest of the rundown of 43.
Then in 31st position, we're going to be finding ourselves all the way down to Parker Retzlaff, who was showing such a fast and dominant car, but wasn't able to get it done at the end. Then it's going to be Newbringing, going to be getting 32nd. With that, Medea's going to be getting 33rd. Edie's going to be getting that at 34th. 35th goes to that Maletti, as well as winner Duffer's going to be getting 36th. And also going to be seeing more drivers dropping through, such as Baldwin, Bonwell, Miller, and also that of going to be seeing Eddie in the 23, finishing out your top 40. And your final 3 drivers that finished out tonight going to be Eric Zimmer, Tyler Kemez, as well as Ellis Garrett, who did not even start in the 13 machine, but 43 drivers qualified. And what a Buttkicker 300 Holiday Classic. It will be a classic to rain on for a long time here, Wesley.
Out of 51 attempted entries, the driver out of Waterville, Maine now. He lives in Waterville, Maine. He used to originally from Clinton, Maine. He picks up the win. We'll talk to Matthew Lee, everyone else, as the finish line post-race wrap-up is next. What a wild one. iRacing, Derek Fulton, they hope you've enjoyed it. We'll talk to our top 3 from Daytona on LSRTV when we return in just a moment. I've been talking for 20 seconds for nothing? Is that what you said?
It was more from like 2 minutes, but yeah.
Welcome back to the Finish Line post-race report. By the way, the finale of season number 3 of Finish Line is this Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. We'll have Chandler Smith, the Snowball Derby winner, and some other guests lined up. Of course, that's coming up, the final show before the holiday break. We return January 5th, and again, it's on LSRTV. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland back here with you. So 2 out of 3 on the podium are able to show up. Jay Jensen not able to be here, second place, but we are going to talk to the winner in third. And we begin with the Floridian from Miami. And, of course, that is Andrew Navarro. Navarro, your take of the race, wild one. What a fun time to be a part of this holiday classic of the Buttkicker 300. Did you expect it to be the way that it did, and are you happy the podium with third?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with the podium in third. Really long race. It felt like saving the fast repair was the most important thing all night long. But other than that, fun race. Thank you to Derek for putting this on.
Yeah, I'm Andrew. It's Sam up the booth. We've seen that you and Matthew Lee were kind of blocking both lanes early in this race, and then same thing happened later on. When you got to those final, that final green-white checkered, what was going through your mind thinking of how you could beat that of Lee at the end?
Yeah, it was. I picked the high line thinking maybe would have a decent run to the line, and I don't know what happened off of 4. I have to go back and see the replay, but I moved up a little bit from the bottom because Jensen was coming up, and then they all wrecked behind. I had no help from behind, so at that point it was just trying to get a second place. So best opportunity was to go low at Matt. We went for it, and it didn't turn out as well as we thought it would, but all in all, good time.
Andrew, final question. You can also thank your sponsors as well. Did you expect this Buttkicker 300 to be the way that it turned out to be, or was it definitely it threw everybody for a loop?
I definitely didn't know about the heat races, so we were sitting around for quite a while, but honestly that wasn't a bad thing, and more strategy planning and stuff for the race. We had the strategy pretty much down, I think, on green flag pit stops that first run, and then a caution came out mid pit road, so that was unfortunate.
All right, man. Well, the man from Miami, Miami. Thank your sponsors, Navarro. Third place here tonight in the Buttkicker 300.
Yeah, I'd like to thank 7 Seas for being on the hood, Rocket Racing Setups, Charge Racing, my team, Martin Sports, all the guys that were watching back over in the watch party, the people downstairs, my family members. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for broadcasting.
There you go, from Miami, Florida. Of course, Andrew Navarro. He'll settle for third spot. Jay Jensen was the runner-up of the race, the man out of Conway, South Carolina for Ryco Motorsports. He'll settle for second in the truck number 02. And, of course, we'll go to victory lane now. Matthew Lee from Winterville, Maine. Big win originally from Clinton, Maine. Matthew Lee, would it be suffice to say, and you've won some pretty cool races in this time, the biggest win in your career of iRacing tonight, the Buttkicker 300, and your take of the victory?
Yeah, it's definitely getting up there with some of the bigger ones. The last month has been really, really big for us. We've won a lot of super speedway races. Kind of got a target in my back at this point, so.
Yeah, Matt, Sam up at the booth. We've seen that you and Andrew Navarro were working so well with one another at the start of this race. What was going through at least through your mind at the midpoint of this race, though, when people were getting shuffled around, you got in the middle of the pack and you weren't leading? Were you nervous at all that maybe you could be seeing your race ended way earlier than having a chance to win here tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was really nerve-wracking when me and Andrew picked up damage early on and had to use the fast repairs, and it was kind of like, all right, now we got to keep the truck in good shape and kind of strategize our way back to the front where there really wasn't a lot of movement. That's something with Daytona is like it's hard to get 3 wide and stay 3 wide versus like Talladega and stuff. So, it's just really had to be patient working our way back to the front, and some good pit stops and good calls really helped us get back up there. And then, once we got back together, it was definitely easier to work our way through.
Hey, Matt, we've known each other a long time, close to about 3 years now. And, we were in the trenches of what was the joke of Josh White, iRacing esports, to what was that Derek did with Swag and the Nazareth days and the Outlaw Pro late model deal. Man, what's your take of what this race turned out to be from the start to finish? And I would say, before you throw it out there, that this is what we always wanted to see happen for us with iRacing, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. We've always had some pretty big visions with some really big fields like this, and it was awesome to see Derek put this together and for it to come through the way it did. With it really stunk to not see Jerry Nadu make the field tonight, but it was definitely cool having a big name like that try to make the field with us tonight. And guys like Parker Retzlaff, I mean, geez, 9,000 iRating. I mean, it's one of the bigger names, I'd say, in iRacing at the moment. Guys like that, man. I mean, so it's really cool to see all this come full circle. Back on LSRTV, with Derek putting another race on. Heck of a job to him for putting this race on in the last couple weeks, and really look forward to seeing what he keeps coming up with at this point.
Samuel, got another question for the winner, since we didn't relate to Jay Jensen in second.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, when we got there late, you got a huge shove from Navarro, who's kind of trying to get you out of sorts, but also helping a little bit. How squirrely was it? Because it seemed like you almost got out of control there coming through the tri-oval.
Oh yeah, when he got to me, he gave me one heck of a shot, and I hated that it put me up into Jensen, but I mean, it was just, you're coming to the finish. I mean, checkers are records at that point, and he did what he had to do to try to get second place, or if not a win for himself. So even Jay had said one point under a caution there late at the end, like, whatever happens, it's been fun, and we're all men, we're gonna race it out.
Yeah, and I think my colleague Samuel on the final commercial break said, yeah, watch Jay Jensen. Yeah, watch the way he drives. He'll move you out of the way. But by the way, you're running for a $2,000 purse, and you literally about to rack up close to $800-900 of that profit. Man, thank your sponsors. Thank everybody. And, man, congratulations to you. Obviously, this is a nice way to ring in the Christmas holiday season for the team up in probably snowy Maine right now.
Yeah, we got a little bit at the moment, but as always, thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I know it's a long night for you guys. Thank you, Derek, for putting this on. Andrew, for all the help in the race. And the sponsors, Martin Sports, everything they do for me. Anyone looking for some sim racing gloves, jerseys, anything like that, check them out over at martinsports906.com. Great family-owned company, and Scott does a ton for this community, and it'd be great to show him a ton of support like he gives us. The guys at Shenandoah Shine, McConey Setup Shop, and all the guys at Lunatic Racing.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations to you, ladies and gentlemen, out of Maine. The man, Matthew Lee. Matt Lee winning the inaugural, of course, iReal sanctioned Buttkicker Holiday Classic 300 here tonight from the virtual World Center of Racing at Daytona. And, of course, that has been the finish line post-race wrap-up. Samuel, man, your final thoughts, but I always enjoy working with you. I have to say, this is probably one of the best broadcasts we've ever had, working side by side. It was a good one. Some cheers, some boos, some laughs, some cries, some excitement. Wild finish, and Matthew Lee picking up this big win. You're taking the finish here at Daytona.
Holiday fun. It's been a while since you and I worked, since the Northwest Cup Truck Series finale. So it has been a while since we've both been in the booth with one another. But it was a fun night, a long night. But man, great racing to the end. And congratulations to Matthew Lee. And if anything, this is why I love the trucks right now in iRacing. They are so much fun to watch on track, always side-by-side racing action going on, and you never know what's going to happen at the end. And you thought for a second maybe Jay Jensen was going to get it done, but I got to say, great job by the 04 of Matthew Lee for holding on from the bump from Navarro. and still getting the win here for the Buttkicker 300.
He never backed away. He never backed away, and he was right there in the hunt. All those guys, we mentioned it. Aro, Cinnamon, what a run for him at a 5 finish. I got to give props to Mike Adamson. Also, of course, Dale Adamson in the top 10, top 15. So many good names, and it's going to be a fun time, I believe, and I hope we do this again in 2022. By the way, all of the graphics, the instant replays, all of the excitement that you see was done by Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten in production for LSRTV and Rocket Media. For Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. Our next broadcast on Live Sim Racing tomorrow night with the next round of the Trans-Surface Blizzard Cup Series Sim 500 League. And again, thanks to Derek Fulton, iReal. What a phenomenal job in putting this race together. Hope you enjoyed this 3-hour diversion of entertainment. And in the end, Maine's Matt Lee wins the checkered flag in the Buttkicker 300. Merry Christmas and thanks for watching the leader of iRacing, your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Happy holidays and good night.